And a very good afternoon and welcome to Ron Evans Oval at Port Arlington Recreation Reserve as the Bellarine Football Netball League final series continues. It's elimination final day on a sunny but windy day here at Port Arlington as we bring you the AFL Bowen Facebook live stream. Tom King in the host chair. Looking forward to this one between the Roos and the Grubbers as they go head-to-head in a final for the first time in 6 years. That was an elimination final back in 2015, but it's fair to say they are two very different looking footy clubs to the last time they met in the postseason. Looking forward to calling all the action and great to have back on an AFL Bowen Facebook live stream. He's left us, he's been part of the K-Rock team, he's been a key driver of the AFL Bowen media, but now he's doing wonderful things at Williamstown when VFL footy allows. A very good afternoon to Josh Conway.
Thank you, Kingy. Good to be back. Won't be a stranger forever, Tom. So great to be here. It should be a cracking game, shouldn't it? And geez, wasn't it a quiet day yesterday? There was a bit happening yesterday, some big results across both competitions, but fantastic to be here this afternoon alongside you two.
Looking forward to seeing who progresses to a first semi-final. Well, they'll run into Bowen heads, and there's part of me that just thought, gee, wouldn't it be great if we got a Battle of the Bridge first semi-final next Sunday? But Anglesea fans, as we're actually coming live to you from the old scoreboard at Port Arlington, would be a cracking clash, but Anglesea will have other thoughts. And of course, yesterday it was Mottawarra getting over the top of the Seagulls in the qualifying final. The Warriors into a second semi next Saturday here at Port Arlington against the undefeated reigning premier in Torquay. Joining us in the experts chair this afternoon, great to have a man whose knowledge of Bellarine footy knows no bounds. He's actually been involved with the Ocean+Grove Footy Club, but more recently making his name as the coach that rejuvenated the Newcombe Power, and that is Rory Nicol. Rory, good afternoon to you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
It's been an interesting year of Bellarine footy. Obviously, we talk about Newcombe, and I think 3-6 or 3-9 they ended up. But they had 5 losses or more by about
Less
4
than 20.
goals.
Yep. They'll be a little bit disappointed with the way they've finished the season, but they've got a strong list, and it seems like they're all going to recommit and go again. But having said that, you look at a young side like Ocean+Grove out there today to get into 5th spot, and I'm really looking forward to see how they handle their first final.
And of course, it's TAC game today as well. TAC weekend across regional football with the blue armbands being worn as part of an awareness campaign. So we thank the TAC for their support, and we thank KFC as well for their support, being good enough to feed us this afternoon. Buzz is looking forward to half-time, and hopefully it's just kept its warmth for you.
Bit peckish. Kingy.
So we're just having a look at how they'll line up, and it looks like the Grubbers are going to head to the left of your screen, or the Port Arlington town end here at Ron Evans Oval. So first quarter about to get underway. Selections, boys, very quickly.
Well, it'll be interesting because they both play different brands of football. So if Ocean+Grove can't be overawed by the occasion, I think the bigger ground may suit them. It depends how they go in and tight at the contest.
Anglesea by 3 goals, making it.
Anglesea for me as well. First quarter gets underway. Here's Josh Conway on the AFL Bowen Facebook live stream.
Underway, Corbell in the ruck for Anglesea, one hit out, and then with the quick hands, but we've got a free kick early going the Grubbers' way. They drive it to half forward. That was Tom Stephen with the fist over the top from Anglesea. Rounds came in quickly, couldn't gather. Hot footy as you expect early in this elimination final. They work it out by hand, the Grubbers, and they go inside 50 for the first time this afternoon. High footy, bouncing ball. Belwarren in game 150 sees it over the line safely and out of play.
Just interesting to start the game. They've got Carson forward. Ocean+Grove probably kicking with a small breeze. I would have thought they'd have Carson back, but they've thrown him forward.
So boundary thrown beside the left-hand behind post. So only one Grubber has played finals for the club. Sorry, 2 Grubbers have played finals for the club. It's Rawlings and Marchbank. Ball's inside forward 50 for Ocean+Grove. Chance there for a little dribble kick. Waters, did it go through? No, touched on the line. So behind is the first score of the afternoon here at Ron Evans Oval in the elimination final, and it's Ocean+Grove on the board. There, one behind. Anglesea yet to score. A minute ticked over in this opening term. What have you picked up early, Rory, in terms of other matchups?
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they go with Carson and what he does. Guys like Dyson Belwarren, Williams, we can't let them allow them to set up behind the football. So Ocean+Grove need to use their overlap and make Anglesea defend the whole ground. So, as I've said, I'm interested to see how the Ocean+Grove young team goes.
The old-fashioned huddle, kicking in the middle of the ground, and Belwarren's turned it over quickly. Snap on goal, had to go to work. Ground level, first goal of the game goes to Mitch Taylor. The Grubbers are on the board inside 5 minutes. They're 1-1-7, Anglesea yet to score.
This is what Anglesea actually don't want. They don't want Ocean+Grove to get their tails up a young side. It's just the pressure from the forward line from Ocean+Grove. They look like they've got an appetite to play this contest, which is it's good to see.
Buzz, you saw the Grubbers back in round 1 on the live stream against Torquay. You're surprised that you're seeing a team now lining up in an elimination final?
It's a fantastic story, isn't it? Certainly wouldn't have picked it after that game with such a young team, but they've exceeded expectations, and there's no reason to expect they can't hold their own this afternoon. That's a perfect start for them, isn't it, Rory?
It is. Look, at the end of the day, Ocean Grove probably get a tick internally. If they don't win today, they'd obviously be disappointed. But how far they've come with such a young list, whatever happens today, they're winners. They've exposed their young guys to a senior final, which will hold them in good stead for the years to come.
And you hope there's a couple of clubs outside the 5 actually, and you mentioned Newcombe, but others that can make that quick turnaround as well.
Yeah, there's a few that are probably stiff not to play finals in the stop-start season, so it makes for an interesting, close year next year, I'd assume.
Annan with the big fist sends it towards half forward. Waters attacks it off the half forward flank, couldn't take it cleanly. Ball's now at ground level. Rounds will come in and try and lock up Harley Pearce, or rather Joe McDonald, and we will get a ball up just forward of the cricket wicket here that runs, of course, on the diagonal. It's one of the rare ones that doesn't run either direct wing to wing or full forward to full forward, the Port Arlington cricket wicket. Caldwell and Annan, as they will for most of the afternoon. Annan won the tap down. There's going to be a free kick. I reckon there's a whistle off the footy, and it's a free kick, and they're going to pay advantage. They are, and McDonald's going to take that advantage, but the umpire says bring it back, and that might be a good result because the flying shot at goal actually missed to the right.
Ocean Grove just didn't be real conscious of Ryan Williams sitting off the back of the stoppages in their front half. They love to feed back to him, and he pays his opponent sometimes not a lot of respect and goes kick chasing. So they need to be wary if they feed back to him. He doesn't get too much of the football.
So it'll come back to Tom Waters, who's got that luscious mane of hair that has captured the imagination of Grubber fans since he's arrived from Parkdale.
A few good haircuts in the Ocean Grove team, Kingy. Must be a young person's thing.
Yeah, Fletcher Keck's got a good mop of hair as he just ran past Tommy Waters. Waters sees something inside 450. It's a poor kick, and he put it straight onto the chest of Dale Kerr, who's gone with the long sleeves this afternoon. And he'll send it wide, looking out there for a marking option. And he finds Carson.
First disposal of the afternoon on the overlap. Williams with the shaved head this afternoon towards Elliott. Clean gather, but ran out of room. Ball out of play over on the outer side next to the scoreboard, which reads 1-1-7. The Grubbers Anglesea yet to score. 4.5 minutes gone in the opening term of the elimination final.
Again, Williams sitting off the back of the contrast and running off for overlap there. Ocean Grove need to engage him somehow. They can't just let him have his own at the back of the contest. They've rolled it forward up to him now. Tossed
in. Caldwell won it down. Ocean Grove with numbers at ground level. Caldwell goes again. Brought to ground. Scrummage continues. No real clean winners there. The umpire will fold the arms and we'll do it all again. So hot contested start as you would expect. Elimination final. Sunday afternoon here at Port Arlington. One down, Grant pursuing for Anglesea. Yet again, players converge. They'll have another stoppage.
Loving the glove work from Dale Kerr. Just the one mitt on the left hand. Ball back in the air and winning the tap down. And wrapped up in a tackle and going nowhere. It's a good tackle laid there for the Grubbers. And the ball will come back rather to the umpire. And we'll get another ball up. I suspect a lot of stoppages today with these blustery conditions, Roars. Yeah, it will be. And as I said, the shape around the contest from Anglesea is very good so far. They've got spares outside of the contest. Ocean Grove need to pick that up and work out whether they're going to pull mids out of the contest or roll forwards up. They're going to make that decision in the coach's box now, I feel. They got the ball forward, the Roos, and it's Carson who's taken a free kick. He was held too long in the tackle. Presenting short but ignored was Elliott. So Carson goes longer to about 25 out from goal. Will just hold on the breeze. Annan back with the flight, couldn't complete the mark. Erskine brought it to ground. Ball's bobbling at ground level, diving on it but not taking it away is Sobe. And now trying to burst his way out of the pack is Glenn Campbell. And we'll get a ball up about 25 metres, make it 30 out from the Anglesea goal as they attack to the Geelong end or the old showgrounds end here at Port Arlington. They do, and then won it down. Strong tackle from Kerr. Brilliant forward pressure from that man. We'll have another stoppage, still directly in front of the Anglesea goal. They're yet to score. 6.5 minutes have ticked by in the opening term. Erskine with strength won it down in the ruck. Appeals for a free kick, not heard by the umpire. And once again, we'll have yet another stoppage. The ball still in position A for Anglesea to score. They wouldn't be upset with this, Anglesea, would they? Kicking into the wind? No, I feel their experience is going to come into play with these conditions. So, as I said, Ocean Grove, they've made it obvious that they will have extras at the contest.
with Anglesea pulling their players out, they've just got to be mindful they play out of the stoppage. So Ocean+Grove have got their +1 at the contest. They've got to make sure they use their handball to get out of that contest. Otherwise, they're going to be kicking to spare Anglesea players.
Great tackle from Anand, won the free kick. Dished it quickly to Rawlings. Goes to half-back. Rice has got some space. He's a good user usually. Goes inside 50. Kerr got in the way. Rounds goes back. Sob. Williams runs into trouble. Has to kick quickly. Goes the wrong way, and it's going to fall fortuitously for the Grubbers. The mark taken by Anand. Goes inside 50. There's space aplenty. Belwarren did well. Got the fist in. Comes to ground level. Leeds wrapped up in a strong Waters tackle. The heat coming early from the Grubbers. Will have a ball up. 55 out.
So we've got the two, both Annans playing out there today, both Kobe and Kai, and you can't miss them because they're both 7'12". We've got the ball up just on 50 for Ocean+Grove. Quick kick inside 50, went over the head of Patterson, and there's Annan taking the mark. I talked about that height just moments ago, and it's been used to good effect, and Kai has taken the mark about 25 out, make it 30, just right of centre, and a chance for the Grubbers second.
Difficult kick, but as I said, they've engaged their defenders there in that moment, and they've got their defenders one out. So, Ocean+Grove need to back their forwards in to beat the direct opponent. They can't have them sagging off and guarding space.
Still eligible for under-17s, playing his fourth senior game and a chance to kick a goal in a final from 40 metres out. Sets it up into the breeze, tries to work it back, but not enough, and has missed to the left through for a behind. And the Grubbers now go to 1-2-8. The Anglesea Roos yet to score in this opening term from Port Arlington. It's BFL elimination final action via the AFL Bowen Facebook live stream.
Swain's kick was smothered. They still have time to work it out. Schneering stripped of it. Ball still at ground level. Great heat early from Ocean+Grove. This young side are up for the fight. They're out. Grant out the front of the stoppage. Just a little fumble. Just halted his momentum. Socked. Scrubbed forward. Carson lays a strong tackle. Still got their hands clear. Numbers at Ocean+Grove. Rawlings dances through a couple. Does well. Then places it on the ground. Not raining, Jack, but still did a good job. Harrison at ground level. His handball was smothered. The heat again applied from Ocean+Grove. Rounds kicks quickly, but it will be coming back inside 50 pretty quickly from the Grubbers.
It will be, and sending it in there might be Gummer. Kick inside forward 50. Well, ground level, good pick up. Quick snap, not bad. That might be Taylor, is it? Left foot snap was a good finish. It was. Logan Taylor with the goal. And that might be two for him. Or was it both Taylors have kicked one each?
Yep.
It was Mitch earlier, now it's Logan. So, good start there. 2-2-14 are Ocean+Grove. Anglesea yet to score in this opening term and making the most of their opportunity there, Ross.
Yeah, well done by the Ocean+Grove forwards. They've been outnumbered by Anglesea defenders, but they've been yet to cause a contest and bring the ball to ground. They're actually getting beaten on the ground a little bit, Anglesea. So, well done by the bigger forwards up there at Ocean+Grove. Outnumbered, but still able to make a contest, bring the ball to ground and give their smaller forwards an opportunity. And both goals they've kicked have been off the deck.
They talked about not being overawed by the situation during the week. Spoke to Pete Davey, the coach, and he said, look, some of these kids have played in under-19 finals. A lot of them played in that flag a couple of years ago, and they played in some big games. It was a massive battle of the bridge this year with a massive crowd as well, and they're showing it that they're not overawed. Maybe the lack of crowd might be helping them too.
Well, I listened to Pete as I was standing out front of their rooms, and he said, don't do anything different than you haven't done already. One thing I respect about Ocean+Grove, they're not scared of any opponent, whether it be Bowen Heads or Torquay. They just go out there and give their all and give it a crack, and it's very admirable.
It's a hot start. They might win another clearance here too. Waters was caught with it. Grant was as well for Anglesea. Ball comes out the back of the stoppage. Nolan inside 50. They get a good look at it. Anglesea here. Elliott robes the pack beautifully and misses. Was he pushed in the back as he kicked? No, said the umpire. It's their first score anyway. The Roos are on the board. 2-2-14 to one behind. 11 minutes played.
Probably lucky not to get another kick there. There was two hands straight in the middle of his back.
Just with no crowd here, Glenn Campbell's had to trot off where cars and people would normally be standing and retrieve the footy. Be all right if they kick it over the fence down at the Port Arlington town end, because there are people that have decided that they're going to view from outside the perimeter fence this afternoon. Mitch Taylor's got the job of bringing the ball back into play. He trots off out of his defensive goal square, brings it broadcast side, looking for a marking option. Good spoil coming from over the top from Caldwell to bring it to ground for the Roos. Head over the footy, but not taking it away is Reece Hobbs. And we've got a stoppage potentially coming here. I don't think the umpire's going to be able to do anything other than throw this one into the air. Umpires this afternoon, Jack O'Neill, Jared Clark and Josh Brown controlling the action. And last man up, not a surprise, Jackson Buse. 2018 Ash medalist. Gives it to the umpire. The umpire puts it into the air for Annan and Caldwell again. Annan had position, won the tap down. Buse did the roving, just flicked up a little handball. It was a throw, in fact. The umpire non-controlling. Spotted that well, actually. It was a good decision on the free kick to be taken by Rawlings at left half-back.
Goes into the middle of the ground. There's plenty of space here for Ocean Grove to work into. They go to half forward. There's an Anglesea player down. Kingy just on the interchange gates. Keep an eye on that. Ocean Grove keep going forward with Pickett inside 50, and they get another mark. It's Taylor again. He's on the pain of 50. Does he fancy himself with this blustery breeze? It's Logan, the Logan variety. Looks like he's eyeing off the goals. They'll have to kick from outside 50. Now the mark is just inside the paint. It'll take his best.
Yeah, he's Tommy Leeds, Buzz. It's come from the ground.
So Taylor from 52 gives it a good ride. He's got every bit of that. Ocean Grove have 3 inside the opening 15 minutes. A hot start from the Baby Grubbers.
Great build-up by Ocean Grove. It wasn't pretty, but what I liked about it, they're trying to change lanes with the football and change corridors. If they allow Anglesea, as I said, to set up and they go down the line, that's what Anglesea want. If Ocean Grove can keep changing lanes with the ball and make, I guess, Anglesea defend the whole ground and shift their defence, they'll go a long way to winning this game.
Just controlling the ball at the moment. When they get hold of it, they're able to find something, just running the bruise off their legs.
And they're probably giving away kilos at stoppages. That's why they probably prefer to have the +1 at the contest. But they're actually out muscling him in there. They're getting their hands first on the football.
So what will be the response from the Roos? A trail by 19. Annan again winning the tap down and taking it as Pickett. He's chicken winged in a good tackle by Buse and going nowhere. And we'll get a ball up. Connor Pickett back into the side. Missed the win over Drysdale. And now there's a bit going on off the ball, a bit of push and shove, and the umpire just says throw it in the air. So that's what happens. Caldwell wins the tap down. Sobe coming off the wing has got his head over the footy and he's wrapped up. Geez, a bit of push and shove. Luke Round's involved. Will never take a backward step, the former Bell Park Dragon. Get a tertiary ball up in the middle of Ron Evans' oval. Caldwell winning the tap down this time. Ball ricochets back to Annan, who socketed off the ground. Head over the ball and jamming on the boot. Getting it forward was Pearce. It rolls towards half forward for the Grubbers. We're out the front of the pack. A chance to pick it up there for Donegan. He couldn't take it cleanly. And that opens the door for the Roos to try and get it away. Chris Kennedy under pressure firing a handball back. There's going to be a free kick. I reckon it might be holding the footy, Buzz.
Just noticed Carson sitting behind the ball on his own.
Go inside 50 again, Ocean Grove. Ward got 2 hands to it, couldn't mark. Rounds lost the footy. Buse caught by 2. Play on, says the umpire. Big contest here. Kennedy went to work. Williams just kicks hurriedly. It'll be going back inside 50. Ocean Grove set up well behind the footy, as Warren Nickel mentioned. They pump it in now to the hotspot. Carson's there. He's got position A. Climbs high, couldn't mark. Is the umpire paid? I don't think he might have paid the mark in the end. To Dale Carson.
That's what Ocean Grove do not want to allow. They don't want to air the footy out to Carson as a +1 because he'll just take catch after catch. They need to continue to lower their eyes and use the hit-up players. Underground
kick by Swain. Now the ball out towards the outer wing for Anglesea. Little soccer off the ground by Elliott. Erskine head over the footy. Couldn't get a handball release. Good pressure. It's going to be a free kick, though, and it's going to come back to Ocean Grove, and it might be for holding the footy. And it'll be taken there by Hobbs. Hobbs just a neat little kick over the top on the outer wing. They look to attack now through Campbell. Campbell sends it long. That's a poor kick. And once again, Carson behind the footy will just chew that up. Gee, he took on the man on the mark, had to spin out of trouble, went short with the kick, went looking for Buse, who couldn't complete the mark on hands and knees. That might be a free kick for too high. And it might be the man who's been causing all the damage. That Taylor, once again, he gives a handball off. It's from Logan to Mitch. Mitch bangs it long. It's a long, long ball. He's missed to the right. Gee, there's a sign of the breeze going towards the Port Arlington town end in this opening quarter, and that kick coming in from Mitch Taylor, which is missed to the right, through for behind, and I've got that as 3-3-21 now, Ocean Grove. Anglesea, 1 behind, the margin 20 points in the opening term of this elimination final of 2021.
Great start from the Grubbers. Go ahead, Rory.
Ocean Grove need to be wary of where their +1 is, so their spare player is maybe at the contest, but they need to make a decision whether their +1 can have an impact, or are they going to let Carson sit there on his own.
Swain's kick was intercepted out, so Hobbs goes inside 50. Fist comes. Williams is there for Anglesea. Players converge. There's plenty of numbers around it. Gee, that's a high tackle, and they'll have a shot from directly in front, Ocean Grove, for goal number 4.
I reckon it's Logan Taylor again, Buzz.
I think you might be right, Kingy.
If I was coaching Ocean Grove, I'd probably pull my spare player out on the 45 at the 50, so Carson can see him out the corner of his eye and try and seduce Carson to come away from the goal square.
So for his 3rd goal in the opening term, unbelievable start from Ocean Grove and Logan Taylor. In he comes. He's just pushed it to the right-hand side. He'll remain with 2 goals, 1 to his name.
Got to make him hurt with those opportunities, Rory, because the Roos are going to have the breeze in the second quarter.
Exactly, and no doubt they'll throw Carson. They've got Erskine down there, so they're going to have their hands full with the wind. They've got to nail them. They're getting their opportunities, though, and that's a positive.
Ryan Williams had to jump the fence, go and find the footy. Now he bursts away from his defensive goal square, has a bounce into the right forward pocket, a stuttering run, but a short kick that is okay, and finds Tommy Stephen marking just outside defensive 50 at right half back. They haven't controlled the footy at any stage in this opening term. Stephen, he just kicks it into the man on the mark, or the man coming towards him. That might have been Mitch Taylor. In fact, it was James Patterson who knocked it out of ground bounds, and will get a boundary throw-in at left half forward. They're all over them at the moment. The Grubbers kicking with the aid of a breeze. It probably has 3 or 4 goals attached to it, to be honest. Need to make the most of these opportunities. Boundary throw-in. It favours Corbell out the back. Tried to win the tap-down rulings, couldn't take it. Oh, Erskine, big hit on Taylor. Put him on his Tijuana. It was all fair. It was all shoulder. There'll be no issue with that, but it was a good hit from Erskine. But the Grubbers, they get back to their feet. Rawlings kick partially smothered. Rounds trying to don't argue. Try to get a kick away. Head over the footy, but unable to take it away was Jack Elliott. They are fighting hard here, Ocean Grove, to lock the footy at half forward, and they've done that successfully. They're going to get a stoppage, I suspect. Umpire is hovering. He says, give it to me, right at the point of the square at left half forward. And as you said, Rory, they are giving up kilograms and size for most of these kids, but, gee, they're not shirking the contest.
They don't take a backward step. It's good to see.
Taylor caught in a strong tackle from Rounds, who just shoved him into the turf, all fair. So Anglesea just upping the ante here, them trying to match the heat that Ocean Grove have brought in this opening 19 and a half minutes of the elimination final. Of another stoppage.
So what you can't see when you're watching it on your screens is Carson standing behind the football in the goal square as a +1. Ocean Grove have theirs back standing at centre half back. Yeah, and that's the decision the coaches need to make.
Well, roll 2 back by the looks of it, Rawls.
Yeah, it may be a winger that's rolled around. I'm not sure where he's come from. It's hard when you're standing in a letterbox.
Campbell, the spare for Ocean Grove at the other end of the ground. Plenty of numbers through this sob. Strong tackle. Ball wrestled clear waters. Just hurries one forward. Williams, the calm head, just wobbles it though. There's not much ahead. Taylor, a little fumble. Elliott will look to apply some heat, but Taylor still gets it inside 50. It's a wobbling, juggling ball. Patterson not paid the mark. Plays on. Kicks from 40. And he's just pushed to the right-hand side. Another behind for the Grubbers.
He just had to calm his nerves there. If the mark was paid, just go back and kick the goal. They just sort of look like they're rushing a little bit, Ocean Grove, and they just need to slow the ball down. You don't always have to go fast, especially in the conditions. Time in their front half is fine, and just settle it down a bit and make sure they're getting their goals. Now they've kicked 3-5. Obviously they prefer the 5-3.
Into time on in this opening term. Williams with the kicking duties for the Roos and puts it onto the chest of Darcy Elliott, who was marked. Elliott, handball off to Williams, who cruised by from full back, sends it into the middle of Ron Evans Oval. Erskine worked his way to the front, couldn't complete the mark. Handball out the back, that might have been the skipper Wilkie giving a handball off, a high ball from Brome. Brome inside 50, back with the flight. Williams couldn't control the mark. Quick handball up. Here's that man Taylor again! He's kicked his 3rd of the quarter! Logan Taylor with a wonderful snap. Williams going back with the flight, just had a fit of the stumbles, couldn't complete the mark, and Logan Taylor, once again, Johnny on the spot. He kicks his 3rd, and they lead by 28. 4-5-29, the Grubbers. Anglesea, one behind. I reckon they'll be up and about right now at the old Colindina and also at the Ocean Grove club rooms at Ray Menzies Oval.
Absolutely. Anglesea's defenders look at to see. They're guarding space. They're not manning up on their players, so they're not really having an impact. They need to make a decision. I either man up or I get over and help and be that +1. But at the moment, they're just guarding grass and not having an impact.
How about the celebration too? Can you just see Jason Ackermanis style too? I like it from Logan. He's feeling it, and why wouldn't you? 3 goals in the opening term and 4 for the Grubbers. They have started hot.
Still won't beat Jack Mullen on Anzac Day. St Joseph's.
It's a shame there's no crowd here, because I think he might have
Turning
given
to
it
the
to him.
South Barwon fans.
We hope we can see some crowds back at local footy soon. Call ball over the top for Anglesea. Schneering dumped in a strong tackle. Sorry, it's Beers, excuse me. We'll have a ball up just forward of the centre circles. 22 and a half minutes gone in the opening term. Call ball stripped of it. Abused with a strong tackle, a big body round the footy. Rory, from an Anglesea point of view, what do they need to do to try and get back into this contest?
Well, I'd be interested to see how Ocean+Grove goes against that sort of breeze the next quarter. Anglesea haven't been able to get the ball from one end to the other without turning it over, so it may be the conditions, so it'll be interesting to see how Ocean+Grove cope with it.
Call kicked quickly, but the numbers with Ocean+Grove yet again. Wilkie was dumped in a strong tackle, and as he paid a sling tackle he has against Dale Kerr. I think that's the skipper. Wilkie it is.
Anglesea are pretty happy to kick the ball with one handball. I feel against this wind, you probably need to use that handball a little bit extra and get overlap from behind. They just seem to, because they have got the luxury of a few key forwards, they're probably used to just kicking the ball long and high, especially at the small Anglesea ground. But once again, they're just teeing off and not looking where they're at. They need to, invite more handballs in and not be so flat-footed.
They worked the ball towards half forward through Beers. Erskine couldn't complete the mark. Ocean+Grove were able to roll a couple of numbers back to keep him company, and they'll get a boundary throw in at almost true centre wing on the outer side. The Port Road side of the ground, ball back into play. Here's Grant trying to take it for Anglesea, but he left it behind. Chance here to jam it on the boot for Lang. Now it's Annan picking up the foot. He was good below his knees. Handball went looking for Waters, who took it on the bench. He just got a little shove from Williams that just took away his momentum, and he fell to ground, diving on the ball and taking his Schneering, the former Grovedale player, and we'll get a ball up just inside forward 50 for the Grubbers. They lead by 28. Eyeing off a Battle of the Bridge first semi-final next week against Barwon Heads. If they were to win today, Lang a handball out the back. Waters was buffeted off it. Couldn't get out of the pack, but Williams could with the handball, but he's turned it over. Chance here now for Gummer. Gummer throwing it on the boot. Got the headband on inside forward 50, sitting underneath it. No mark taken. That for the Roos was Swain. And the Grubbers are able to once again force it forward. But there's numbers here. Beers from Heidelberg had a wonderful year. Went looking for Erskine, but getting in the way again was Wilkie. Ball falls for Lang. Now there's a bit going on off the ball. Umpire, the non-controlling umpire, says there's a free kick. Now which way is it going is the question.
Ocean+Grove's, I think, kicking it. I think it's going downfield too.
So if that's the case, it'll be downfield, and it might be a shot at goal from the top of the goal square, and Patterson might be the gleeful recipient. So it's thrown to Patterson, and this is for a 34-point Ocean+Grove lead. James Patterson, 36 goals this year. Top of the goal square, no problems.
Anglesea just need to control their aggression. They look really frustrated. Erskine's rolled up and got involved at centre-half back and tried to take some players out. Williams looks frustrated. Those experienced players need to take control of this game and just start to get first for the ball. They're looking to just smash Ocean+Grove when they receive the ball. They're second to the ball instead of just going in and cracking in and winning the footy.
I'm not sure of AFL Barwon's plans this year with Rookies of the Year and the like with the shortened season, but I suspect James Patterson might be well in contention with 37 goals now from 13 games, including, of course, a big haul in the Battle of the Bridge that made him the mayor of Ocean+Grove for a week.
Yeah, well, there's a few to pick from in the Ocean+Grove side. The Taylor boys have had outstanding seasons too.
Kobe Anand.
Yep.
He's an exciting player, Patterson. There'll be a lot of GFL clubs probably watching this footage and sniffing around, that's for sure.
So a hot start from the Grubbers. We do think the Breeze is worth a few goals. We're yet to see whether it's worth 5 goals for Worth. That's what they lead by at the moment, 34 points. Deep into red time in this opening term with the elimination final. Anand won it down. Grant into the middle for Anglesea. Couldn't quite gather cleanly. Rice just tumbles one forward towards Kerr. He was clean. Just threw it out, I think, but the umpire called play on Wilkie. Was caught by a couple. Kerr tries to fend off, got his hands clear. Rounds hurriedly inside 50. Here comes Erskine. Look out! Took on 3. Made a big contest. As well done by the big man. Kerr comes in too. Plenty of red jumpers around this. And we'll have a stoppage just inside the paint of 50.
10 players, Ocean+Grove, around that contest there. Just outnumbering by 2 or 3.
Umpire O'Neill to throw the ball into the air, just inside forward 50 for the Roos. And climbed over Erskine, won the tap down, went through the legs of Rawlings. Handball from Kennedy, found Rice. Rice loops it to Beers. Beers puts a handball over the top, trying to find Sobe. Rocked up in a good tackle, but he was able to get a kick away and get it forward 15 metres, but back with the flight diving. The mark taken there by Hobbs for Ocean+Grove. He gives a handball off, and there a chance to attack from inside defensive 50. A little kick there from Marchbank in the long sleeves. Now Keck. Keck drives it towards the outer wing, looking out there for Kyan, and he won't mark. There's plenty of Roos numbers, including Carson. He'll take a handball from Stephen. A floater onto the chest of Buse, who marks just forward of the wing out of side.
Just holds it up for the time being, goes by hand to Sob. They flick it around, and they're making a bit of a meal of this. Beers just dances clear. Rice forced to kick off a step inside 50. There's 2 numbers on Erskine, who applies a strong tackle and creates the stoppage. Well done again by the big power forward.
6 handballs there on that far wing to flat-footed teammates. It's not holding Anglesea in good stead at all.
Ball's just inside the paint of 50. 45 or so out from the Roos goal. And then won it down to no clear advantage as a free kick for a hold going the way of Anglesea. No, it's going Ocean+Grove's. Sorry.
Yeah, umpire pointed the wrong way, Buzz. He threw you under the bus.
He did. Dancing through. Long ball into the middle of Port Arlington Recreation Reserve. That's a good, strong grab from Jake Ward. And they go quickly on this outer side. Wilkie, the skipper, drives it inside 50. Who's there? Only Tom Stephen, who marks for Anglesea.
Stephen brings it broadcast side, wanting Kennedy, who has to mark over his shoulder. He'll then put a kick into space for Rounds, and rather a Sob, and he's taken the mark just back of the wing. Sob from South Barwon. And he's just holding things up. Need to get it moving into the breeze. He kicked it straight into the man on the mark, and who's deflected it out of bounds, and that's a boundary throw-in. And that is a sign everything is going right for your football club, Rory.
Yeah, I'm interested to see Anglesea not rotating their players a lot either. It's warm. Like that first final really knocks you around when it's 18 degrees. It feels like it's 35. So, heavier players, big ground, not used to playing on it. I'm surprised they're not rotating their players more often.
Clearing kick out of the pack from Beers for Anglesea, and that might be a mark. That's been claimed by Jack Elliott. He had first touch on it, was able to control it down and over. Marchbank has taken the mark. Love a goal before quarter time to give him something. The kick, that seriously is holding up into the breeze. Kobe Annan couldn't take the mark. Now he's chicken winged, he's got trouble, dropped it onto his knee, and the umpire says that's holding the ball, and the free kick belongs to Anglesea, and it's going to go to Luke Rounds, I suspect. The Hampton product, of course, played some games with Collingwood in the AFL. He kicks into the right forward pocket, wanting Caldwell. How will it sit for him just inside the field of play? He has a fit of the fumbles, knocked from his grasp, and that is out of bounds for a boundary throw-in in the right forward pocket. So nearly 30 minutes gone. It's very rare, Buzz, that we get an elimination final in the Bellarine where the sun doesn't shine, but usually not as windy.
No. Woke up this morning and did think immediately it was a nice day for footy, but that breeze is very blustery down here at Port Arlington. Erskine won it down to no advantage. They work it out, flick it out by hand. His air swing came. They've got the numbers at ground level, as Rory Nickel said, but Sob picked up cleanly for Anglesea. Kicks it to no great advantage. Erskine taps it down to Rounds. Can he produce some magic, Luke Rounds, on the quarter time siren? Yes, he can. They're on the board. Their first goal of the elimination final comes the way of Luke Rounds. 1-1-7 Anglesea, Ocean+Grove, 5-5-35.
Yeah, probably just the wrong decision there from the Ocean+Grove young player. He had space around him. He's tried to soccer the ball off the ground and missed it. It would have been a lot better decision just to pick that ball up and give off a handball. If they do get tackled from there, they can force a stoppage.
Just don't want to give the mob they're going to have the breeze in the next quarter, some momentum going into the break, though, do you?
Yeah, you don't want to give up that last goal. It gives Anglesea a sniff and a bit of confidence looking into the next quarter.
So that's the one they desperately needed. And they get their first of the afternoon, no doubt. Some Anglesea greats watching this afternoon. I know Christian Robertson, the 2008 Ash medalist, will be watching on very closely this afternoon. He was very disappointed he wasn't asked to be in your seat, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this afternoon. He did fire a tweet to me when we did reveal we were calling the game. Wanted to know why he didn't get the phone call.
Bad luck, Robbo. He would have been too biased.
I did suggest his old man Dave would have been a better option.
He's sitting downstairs, actually.
Great man, Dave. Great man of local football.
He's a good man.
So umpire will toss it into the air, and Annan winning the tap down. Doing the ruck work this time against Jacob Nolan. Roos try to get away, and that's going to be holding the ball. It's a great two-man tackle laid there on Lewis Beers, who's going nowhere, and the free kick belongs with the Grubbers. Keck receives a handball from McDonald. It's now out wide. Marchbank a high kick towards right half forward, and Carson coming up can't complete the mark in front of Kyannan. Talk about a little bit of a difference in experience. 37-year-old Dale Carson against 17-year-old Kyannan. Dale Carson, who has done it all in football against a kid that we hope will, with that size, come on and play either some great footy for Ocean Grove, or you suspect maybe at a high level when you're that size.
But as we said before the game, they're admirable the way they go about it. Ocean Grove, he probably doesn't even know who Carson is, his direct opponent.
Wobbled,
just going about their business.
wobbled forward, Leeds took the intercept marked for Anglesea.
I reckon Carso would have been on Melbourne's list and Kyannan wasn't even born. Would be
You're probably right,
would be a
Kingy.
guess.
So Leeds for Anglesea. This is Sam. The long sleeves. Goes to half back. No great penetration in the kick, and it's chopped off again. No drive it back inside 50. Long and strong towards Patterson. No mark taken. Falls to the back. Can they wrestle one on the quarter time siren? They can.
Great goal. I'm really impressed by the young Ocean Grove players aerially. That's where normally Anglesea take control of the game, but they're just continue to bring that ball to ground, and they're very aggressive in the air, whether it be against two Anglesea players or one. They're just constantly bringing the ball to ground and giving their smaller, younger players an opportunity to have shots on goal.
How good was the skill from Kyannan there as a big bloke, just to be able to get the arms up above the head and then a little handball out to Harley Pearce?
Yeah, they just they bring each other into the game, Ocean Grove, don't they? They're not sort of relying on any one player to win the game for them. They just bring each other into the game. They've got a good culture by the seam of it, and they look like a close unit, and it's showing at the moment.
Quarter's gone 33 and a half minutes. The timekeepers are next to us, so I'm sure that they haven't gone to sleep. Maybe just, Buzz, if you could just check to see.
I'm just knocking on the door.
See if they're still with us. It has been a long quarter. There has been some stoppages and, of course, 7 goals as well, but we are tracking towards 34 minutes gone in this opening term. So the work the Roos did to get one back has been cancelled out by that late one. Umpire tosses it up, and Annan goes to ground against Nolan. It's knocked forward into the path of now running onto it is Pearce. He couldn't take it. He's now got pressure coming from Schneering, and he'll see it out of bounds for a boundary throw-in at right half forward. So that boundary umpire on the southern side of the ground being kept very busy.
It's interesting you say that, Kingy, because they were 28 points down after they kicked that goal, Anglesea. It probably would have been happy to take that in at quarter time. Maybe should have dropped numbers back just to continue that, being 32 minutes a quarter. I would have been happy to take that in at quarter time, but they've allowed Ocean Grove another one.
So the ball's got to half back for Anglesea, trying to burst his way through his beers. But geez, that's a good tackle from Will Brome at the point of the square at right half forward for the Grubbers, and we'll get another ball up. 41 playing 7. The winner to progress to a first semi-final, and the loser see in 2022, Buzz.
That's it. Tossed up just at the back of the centre square or the forward, depending which team you're supporting this afternoon. Leeds first there for Anglesea. It comes clear again. Ocean Grove inside 50 and the mark taken. And they'll have yet another shot on goal for goal number 7. And it's Ward who's taken the mark, 45 out.
Again, a terrific build-up. They change lanes with the footy. They're going to their teammates on a forward 45, which makes them engage their opponent. They can't allow Anglesea sitting behind the football, and if they continue with the 45 and change the lanes, Anglesea are just standing in space.
Just push it to the right-hand side. Jake Ward, his first score of the afternoon, extending the margin, 6-6-42. The Grubbers, Anglesea 1-1-7.
So ball going over the fence probably hasn't helped us with the time either in this opening term, as we've now gone nearly 36 minutes of this first quarter. Stephen take off from the goal square towards the outer side here at Port Arlington, send it long looking for Carson or Caldwell. Neither could mark. Front of the pack, Pickett, little kick went about 5 metres. Chance now for the skipper on the quarter time siren, driving ball, he's kicked the goal. Come from nowhere, Jake Wilkie, not a noted goal kicker, only the 2 goals this year. But gee, I tell you what, they're putting this into the realms of being impossible to overhaul, even with the breeze, Rory. It's a 41-point buffer at quarter time, potentially. 7-6-48, playing 1-1-7, and Jake Wilkie delivers a goal. So much for that 28-point margin at quarter time.
Yeah, that I would have been, as I said, happy to take that in. I would have had some more numbers back myself, but I'll tell you what, if I was Ocean Grove, I'd be putting a couple of guys behind the goals for the next quarter to get the footy back.
What a fantastic opening quarter from Ocean Grove. They have seriously come to play this afternoon. 7-6, 48 to 117. As Kingy rightly mentions, if you're an Anglesea supporter or member, you don't want this to get any further out than it already is before the quarter time siren.
You ever called a quarter longer than this?
It's gone on a fair while.
Nearly 40 minutes.
Nearly 40 minutes. We're back underway.
The second semi-final's about to bounce.
As the clock ticks over 37 minutes. And look at this. Space aplenty out of the stoppage. Pickett inside 50 again. Ocean+Grove go. Carson at ground level. Couldn't pick up. And the ball out of play. Still just inside 50 for Ocean+Grove. But they just walked out of that stoppage, Rory.
Yep. Ryan Williams is trying to come off the square, and he's sort of defending the contest in the middle of the ground and not staying back on his opponent. He needs to make a decision whether he can impact or stay home on his direct opponent.
The boundary throw is allowed to hit the ground and end up in the hands of Donegan. His quick kick inside forward 50. Here again is Taylor at the front of the pack. Quick high snap, won't have the carry, and it's marked at the goal square. Bell Warren has got the footy.
This is where Anglesea need to maintain possession of the ball and chip it around and just mop up the clock a little bit. They've kicked it straight back to Ocean+Grove again.
They have, and ball's not coming out of a contest, bit of push and shove, and we've now gone 38 minutes.
I'll tell you how long the quarter has gone, Kingy. The clock on the attack here only goes for 35, so it's stopped.
Wow.
So we're going to have to give you the updates of the clock, which has ticked into 38 minutes now. There was a whistle, so the kick came forward, but that won't have any relevance. And
Free kick to Ward, I think, Buzz.
yep,
Ocean+Grove would be well ahead in free kicks, but it's purely because they are first in and out at the footy.
and we know from Taylor's shot at goal that went through earlier in this quarter, the distance shouldn't be an issue with the aid of this breeze for Jake Ward. What can he do from just outside the paint? Gives it everything on the quarter time siren, but he won't score. But it won't matter. What an opening term from Ocean+Grove. 7-6, 48 at quarter time lead. Anglesea 1-1-7 in a stunning opening to this elimination final.
Quarter time. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast wherever you're watching it through the AFL Bar Facebook live stream. We'll take a break and be back shortly with the second quarter from Port Arlington Recreation Reserve. Well, after the world's longest first quarter, we're back here at Port Arlington Recreation Reserve, Ron Evans Oval, where Ocean+Grove, a stunning opening quarter burst, 7-6-48, leading Anglesea, one behind. Logan Taylor with 3 goals, Wilkie Patterson, Mitch Taylor and Harley Pearce with 1 apiece in a quarter of dominance from the Grubbers that will have them well placed. They've got a foot right now in a first semi-final, Rory, but we might not know the impact of the breeze until half-time and what Anglesea can do with it, and especially with their strike power up forward with Elliott, Carson, Erskine, etc.
Yeah, and that's what we said. I've been critical of Anglesea, but we don't know how hard it is out there, so we'll see how Ocean+Grove handle the conditions and kicking into the breeze. A big test for these guys, the young Ocean+Grove guys with such a powerful forward line. Carson's gone forward.
It hasn't been Ocean+Grove's way to defend the game, but they have got one. Looks like Fletcher Keck just starting by himself off the more back edge, defensive edge of the centre square, as opposed to being against his opponent on the wing. So we'll keep an eye on that and see how that unfolds. Here's the second quarter, and Josh Conway on AFL Barwon.
Anglesea need a quick start, and they get the early running. Nearly go inside 50. Taylor was caught in a strong tackle from Nolan at centre half forward. We'll have a immediate stoppage.
That creates Luke Round sitting behind the footballers at +1. Probably not the guy you want back there. Very dangerous, a ball in hand and can run.
Taylor adjusting headband after that strong Jake Nolan tackle. The ball comes out. Beers from just inside 50. Forced to kick quickly, and he'll get a free kick, will he? It will go downfield. He will. Well, Anglesea will. And is it Jack Elliott, the recipient? Just trying to see who the ball's going to go to in the end.
Jordan Erskine will find a way to try and make it.
Of course, like any good, and he's picked up the footy, Kingy, very quickly, and I think it will be.
He jumped that fence pretty quickly.
He did. Haven't seen him move that quick in 5 years. No, he's the umpire has told him to give it back to Jack Elliott, so Erskine won't get that shot at goal. Elliott will have an opportunity from a tight angle to kick Anglesea's second. Former East Geelong man, of course, crossed over for this season. In he comes, Jack Elliott from 30 out. He's pushed it to the right-hand side through for a minor score, 1-2-8. Anglesea plays 7-6-48 in this second term.
40 points the margin. The Roos, though, with the breeze that is very strong to the Port Arlington town end this afternoon, and they'll have the advantage of it in this second quarter. The ball's disappeared well over to the perimeter fence here at Port Arlington Recreation Reserve. I'll have to wait for it to come back, and I think it might be Taylor who will have the kicking duties. It is Mitch Taylor, one of the members of the 2019 Division 2 Colts Premiership winning team that have graduated and having an impact at this level. He drives a long kick towards half-back. No mark taken out there for the Roos. Keck on hands and knees, gives a handball to his skipper Wilkie. Tried to get a handball back to Monteith. Chance now for Ward through traffic, or rather Rawling through traffic, but they've turned it over by hand. Warren got in the way. Donegan was okay. Handball back to Monteith. Monteith gave it to McDonald. McDonald tried to loop one over the top to Brome. He might have caught one high. The umpire did see it that way, and it'll be a free kick to Will Brome, just back of the wing out of side.
Trying to use their speed on the outside, working it by hand. Ocean+Grove are doing a very good job of it at the moment. They drive it to half forward. The ball won't quite reach Patterson. Nearly hauled in. Kerr forced to kick quickly and under pressure, under a bit more pressure, a bit less pressure than he thought potentially, and he's kicked it out on the full. The ball will be brought back in on the heart of centre wing. They go again. From the wing to centre half forward. It's a good looking kick too. Brazing up and marking. They go inside 50. Dropping back into the hole as Swain takes a good mark for the Roos.
Swain swings it wide, but Taylor or Waters, neither could mark. Waters dropped an absolute sitter. Elliott then just jammed it on the boot towards forward 50. Rolling ball, trying to attack it was Ward. It went through his arms, helped out the back. Might have been McDonald giving a handball off. Dragged as he kicked Ward. Ball bounces, eludes Beers towards Caldwell. Caldwell through the tackle of Brome. Well done though by Monteith. Left foot kick towards centre half forward. Kai Annan in best position. Couldn't complete the mark at the edge of the centre square. Annan will come again. Just getting a little handball up for the Roos. It was good play, but they won't get out of trouble. And now Waters again inside 50, and here's the man of the moment, Taylor, taking the mark. That's Logan. 3 goals in the opening term now. He's going to kick into the breeze here. The man on the mark's 40 from goal. He's directly in front, but you would suspect the distance is going to test him working into the breeze. As you can see the flag fluttering on the outer wing. The Port Arlington Cricket Club flag will tell you how strong that breeze is. He fancies himself though, Taylor. He's going to swing out to the right, gets every bit of distance he can get, and he's mishit the kick, and he's kicked it about 15 metres onto the chest of Ryan Williams, who's got it in the left back pocket.
He got none of it. Stephen got it from Williams. They're under all sorts of pressure, Anglesea, though. Coughed up by Schneering, making hard work of this, the Roos. Look at the numbers come from Ocean+Grove. Lang sees it out, but that's been a feature, hasn't it, Rory? They're getting plenty of numbers round the footy and providing some heat on this Anglesea side.
Yeah, well, that original contest at centre forward that got Ocean+Grove a shot on goal, it was 4 Anglesea players versus 2 Ocean+Grove, and they just scrapped and caused a stoppage and a turnover.
Tossed in right below our vantage point here at Port Arlington. Corbell reached over the top. Did he cough up the free kick? He did, according to the umpire. Advantage is paid. Rawlings streams inside 50. Can he work it back? Doesn't quite have the journey. Harrison fisting it through for a rushed behind. Moves the score along to 7-7-49 for the Grubbers. Anglesea 1-2-8. 5 minutes gone in this second term.
Looks like Kerr with the kicking duties for the Roos. Knows this ground well, Dale Kerr. He's taken a few wickets on here for Anglesea, both against Port Arlington and also in BPCA finals. I'll be looking forward to getting the two-piece in his hands come the start of October with the green and whites. Chance, though, now for Ocean+Grove to repel from half-back. Oh, that might be 50 against Ryan Williams. And the umpire very quickly indicating, Ryan Williams, you've given up 50. And that will be Jake Rawlings being marched.
Just too slow on the turnover, Anglesea there. Got to react. Man up, grab a player.
So that takes Williams to just inside forward 50. No, it's a little bit further than that. It'll be about 40 out from goal. So a similar spot to where Taylor only moments ago had a shot and shanked the kick pretty badly. And well, actually, he didn't shank it. He probably just mishit it more than anything.
Not confident, is he, King? He doesn't look like it.
Nothing presenting to him. He might be just best to set it to the top of the goal square and give Patterson or Annan a chance to run and jump at it.
Even if he kicks it wide, they don't want a long point. You'd rather get the ball out of bounds and get a stoppage in your front half. They don't want Anglesea marking the ball or a long point. It gives them an opportunity to go forward.
He runs very close to the man on the mark. It's a driving ball. He actually hit it really well. It carried the fence comfortably, but he has pushed it to the right, Rory, and you're right, that long point, probably not the result that they wanted there. But, gee, into the breeze at the moment. They are still controlling the contest. Behind for Rawlings, the margin is 42 points, 7 goals exactly, 7-8-50. And Anglesea 1-2-8 in this second quarter of play in the BFL Elimination Final of 2021.
Kerr to bring it in for the Roos. Has to wait for his own teammate Nick Swain to jump back over the fence, who retrieved the footy for him. Kerr drives it. It's a thumping kick. Carries a long way with the breeze, only as far as Mitch Taylor and Ocean+Grove will drive it back in. Look at the numbers here for them. They've got numbers of plenty inside 50. Oh, the kick was poor. Well done by Bell Warren. Forced the smother. Handball over the top to Rice in some space. Just kicks a burner along the grass. That's no good for Dale Carson. Ball out of play, just forward of centre wing for Anglesea.
For those just joining us earlier today in the BFL Elimination Final in reserve grade competition, Mottawarri advancing to next week's first semi-final against Drysdale after a win over Geelong Ammo's, Buzz.
Yep, sure was. Tossed in. Annan been terrific in the ruck early, hasn't he? Against Ash Corbell. Well done by Lang. Showed some clean hands. Kick to half forward. Swain wrestles with his man and sees the ball out. It beats Luke Rounds in the race to the line. We'll have yet another throw in, about 55 or so around from the Ocean+Grove goal.
Just not making any inroads, are they?
Haven't even looked like scoring, Anglesea.
Ball back into play. Annan and Corbell. Corbell winning the tap this time. There's a Anglesea player that was beset upon too, bringing him to ground. It might have been Beers with that great mop of hair that he's got. That would be more suited somewhere down at Winky Pop on a longboard, I would have thought. Rounds, tracking it towards the outer wing, rolling ball, not taken by McDonald. Chance now for the skipper, Wilkie. Was able to release a handball, and they're out here. Lang throws it on the left boot, inside forward 50. Kyan, oh, good stretch and take. Was able to clutch it on the second attempt and have it long enough for the umpire to pay the mark. Once again, you would suspect distance, even with the man on the mark, 40 out from goal, would be a test. There's not much of him, Kyannon. He would be about 65 kilos wringing wet.
Built like a pipe cleaner.
Yeah.
So quick out of the contest there, Ocean+Grove with their hands. Anglesea just don't have any answers for it. Ocean Grove have just got to be mindful they don't get their entries and mark it at this 45 metre point. They've got to try and get some overlap and get some hit up so they can get some shots on goal, 25-30 out.
And then just sets it up. So he puts it to the top of the square, but it's not a great kick, and Caldwell will mark comfortably at the top of his defensive goal square and try and start an offensive threat here for the Roos from deep inside forward 50. They'll bring it broadcast side. He's got a couple of options. Sammy leads as one, Sobs the other. Spoil from the back from Marchbank, but it's rolled out the back. Kobe Annan will be first there. Grant for company. Annan did okay. Was able to knuckle it into the path of McDonald. Jamming on the boot was Ward. Wasn't a great kick. Rolling ball, though, will get towards Kai Annan, who shows some good poise, and then through traffic, hit the handball to Pickett. Pickett off by a hand. Neat little kick came from Rawlings. Well done by knocking it to ground. Might have been Nolan, and then seeing it through for a behind. Rather, it was Beers, and seeing it through for a rush behind is Swain, and it's a minor score. A rush behind for the Grubbers, who now lead by 43. They're 7-9-51, 1-2-8 Anglesea in this second quarter.
They go quickly from the rush behind. Stephen to centre wing. Erskine to his man out of the way. Couldn't mark the footy though. Elliott's appealing for deliberate. I think that's a bit ambitious, and the ball will be tossed in on centre wing.
Drowning man clutches at a serpent. Buzz.
Yeah, they need something here, Anglesea. They haven't looked threatening at all with the aid of this breeze in the second term. Yet another stoppage, but it was well done by Kerr to just force the error. But Taylor and Rawlings has been terrific early for the Grubbers. Just hangs it up. Left foot ball into the heart of Port Arlington Recreation Reserve. Waters went without it. Nolan with him as his Buse applies the tackle. Plenty of red jumpers, as we've come to expect around this contest. And yet again, they force a stoppage in the heart of the ground. We'll have a ball up.
So it's near the edge of the centre square. Umpire tosses it into the air. Annan winning the tap down. Williams coming through for Anglesea. Couldn't take it with him. Then tries to fight his way out of the pack, and he's walked into a Pickett tackle who drags him down, and we'll get a ball up. So still the edge of the centre square on that outer wing. The Grubbers, though, 11 minutes gone in this second quarter, have been able to keep Anglesea scoreless to this point. In fact, to one behind, I should say, in this second term. As a high kick comes in, it's a very high ball coming from Jack Rice, and that has floated towards the boundary line, off hands out of bounds for a boundary throw-in at right half forward. What can Paul Nigro do, Rory, to change things? Nothing is going right for Anglesea right now.
Yeah, look, there's sometimes not a lot you can do as a coach. They would have put their structures into place through the week. I just think Anglesea haven't got many players winning their positions over the ground. They need some leaders of the club to actually put their hand up and get in first for the football. They look tired, they look flat-footed. Ocean Grove are just way too quick for them.
Caldwell ripped it out of the ruck for Anglesea, but he was set upon quickly. We have yet another ball in. 51 plays 8, 12 minutes of tick by in this second term. Elimination final next week for the loser.
Our tips never went to air, did they?
Hope not. The stream had started. Hannon won it down. Numbers yet again converge, and hot whistle holding the footy is a decision from the umpire. Going the way of Ocean Grove. I think it's Ollie Monteith down at half-back with the footy. He looks up, goes on that left foot to the heart of centre wing, and up again. Provided a great target for the Grubbers this afternoon. Numbers at ground level. Lang with the tackle. Williams lost it. Buse cracks in hard for the Roos. No great advantage, and strong tackle comes from Kennedy of Anglesea. We have yet another stoppage.
I think Anglesea need to start to be that first player in the ball, start to draw some free kicks, start to get a few things going their way and get some control by foot.
And then won the tap down. Williams trying to barge his way through the pack, walked straight into a tackle. It was a good one too. And the umpire says that's holding the ball. Your prior opportunity was lost when you decided to put the arm up and try and barge your way through Josh Lang, who would be giving away kilos to Ryan Williams, I would suspect, and experience, and he stuck the tackle nicely. Lang, his driving kick, that's not his best. He has absolutely shanked that into the scoreboard on the outer side, and that's probably one of the few errors made by the Grubbers this afternoon, who lead by 43 points in this second quarter. Nearly 13 and a half minutes gone, and Anglesea just have made no inroads into this margin, despite having the aid of what we think is a 3 or 4 goal advantage with the breeze. Swain with a high, long kick, sends it towards forward 50. Carson comes up, can't complete the mark. Kobe Annan, the unlikely rover. Kick was partially smothered, trying to barge his way through Mitch Taylor. Was able to get a handball out before being tackled. Quick kick out of the pack for Anglesea, went about 3 metres. Picked up by Jackson Buse. Buse a rolling ball. Knocking it to his own advantage was March Bank, and then he's dumped in a tackle, bringing him to ground, Darcy Elliott, and we'll get a ball up. So we're about 40 out from the Anglesea goal, and it's a rare occasion where they've spent lengthy amount of time, Rory, inside forward 50.
Yeah, they're just backing themselves in at the contest there. Carson pulled out of that contest and stood in the goal square on his own for about 2 minutes. They're just not shy, and they're confident in the fact that they'll win the footy at the coalface, Ocean+Grove.
Kerr caught Rawlings high. Yet again, they're quick and clean hands from Ocean+Grove, allowing them to exit the stoppage at speed.
Had a lot of football rulings.
He has. He's been very good. Kicks an absolute floater. It'll end up working, though, for Taylor. Speaking of people who have started well, he's been electric to start. 3 goals to his name. Goes looking for Patterson, who marks above his head on centre wing. He looks to wheel and go quickly. Drives it now to the pain of 50. Waters has a couple to beat. Brings it to ground. Did well, the young man. Williams for Anglesea, though. Rounds. Did well. Danced clear. Geez, Stephen fell over and then gave a fend off to Rounds. Geez, they're making an absolute hash of this. And Ocean+Grove make them pay.
You know,
it's Joe McDonald with the goal. Goal number 8 for Ocean+Grove. Anglesea, Rory are all over the shop.
You know, you're having a bad day when your 2 defenders run into each other and the ball spills free and Ocean+Grove run into an open goal.
Not the first time they've conceded a goal from a player. Brian Williams in the first quarter going back at a fit of the stumbles and Taylor pounced, and this time poor Tommy Stephen, he was sort of stuck in quicksand. And they now trail by 49, and where does it get to a margin if it's not there already where you say this is done?
Yeah, no, it's not now, I know that for sure. There's still a fair bit of footy to play, and depending on what the conditions do, you know, the wind might dry off at a certain extent, but they just need to go back to basics, Anglesea.
Is there anything structurally they can change here or personnel-wise? I know they've still got Carson forward, but is there anything that is sticking out to you at the moment?
I think structurally, Anglesea need to go man-on-man and just start winning their 50-50s and getting their hands on the footy first. They're lagging off, they're zoning space. They're trying to play a brand of football without a wind, like 18 degrees and still day. It's not working for them at all. They need to go back to basics, 18-9-18, and start to win the 50-50s.
Grubbers with the footy, quick handball up to Lang. Lang got a kick up the chimney that's been marked by Williams at true centre half back. Williams drives Anglesea towards half forward. Kerr presents, can't mark through his hands. Ball out the back. Erskine rarely sighted this afternoon. Barges his way through. Handball released to Grant. Grant on the outside of the right boot. A kick little bounce in front of Caldwell. Caldwell with a snap around the corner. Caldwell with a snap around the corner that is missed to the right and through for a behind. Gee, they could have done with that. They trail by 48. They're 139. Ocean+Grove 8-9, 57. 17 minutes ticked over in this second quarter. If you've just joined us, opening term, it was a big one for the Grubbers with the breeze. 7-6 to 1-1. They banged on in that opening term. And they were all over them with Logan Taylor the star with 3 goals, and they now hold a 48-point advantage.
This is brother Mitch bringing it in for Ocean+Grove. Wasn't his best kick. Buse at ground level for the Roos. Wilkie kicks hurriedly, did a good job. The skipper just kicks to touch, as they say in rugby, and will get a throw in, gaining some yardage and getting a reset for his side. Ball's spent a lot of time on the outer wing, hasn't it, Kingy? The boundary umpire's earning his crust this afternoon. Tossed in. There usually would be a big throng of cars over there too in normal circumstances. Hopefully we can see some people sometime soon. Ball's scrapping at ground level. Pearce just trying to soccer it forward. Got his handball cleared just. It falls to Grant of Anglesea though, and he goes inside 50 for the Roos, looking for Erskine. Why wouldn't you? And he gathers cleanly. Can he dribble it home? Jordan Erskine, he can. It's a second for Anglesea. A first for Jordan Erskine.
That's twice Ocean+Grove have opted to kick off the ground, and Anglesea has scored goals from it. You just need to bend over, pick up the footy. If you can't fire off a handball, embrace the tackle, hold it in. You've had no prior opportunity and get a stoppage.
Jordan Erskine with his first of the afternoon and 46th of the season as he searches for another half century in local footy. He's had a stunning run both at Grovedale and Anglesea since arriving at the Tigers in 2013. And, of course, his 3 seasons have been very fruitful. 231 goals now from 53 games. Just a tick over 4.5 a game.
That's a lot. You just can't get that elusive final and get their way to a grand final and have a crack at a premiership, which is no doubt what he's after.
Yeah, of course, featured in the grand final of 2013 with Grovedale, where they fell short by 20 points to South Barwon. Bounced back in the middle, and it was actually a toss-up in the middle. We shouldn't say bounce because it is all thrown up here at local level. And Wilkie, the skipper of the Grubbers, couldn't get himself out of that pack. And there's going to be a free kick for a hold in the ruck contest. It's going to go to Anand, who quickly gives a handball off to Keck. Keck gives a handball to Langwell to get back into his left boot. Instead decides to handball on the bounce. Comes up back towards Keck. He got a good little handball over the top that came from McDonald. Kick inside 50, flying with the one hand, but not marking out the back was Donegan, cleaned up by Schneering. Schneering a handball over the top to Swain, who want to get back to his left boot. Handball nearly turned over. Coming through was Bell Warren, or was it Nolan? It was Bell Warren. Now trying to barge his way through. Is that Patterson who's gone back? Gone forward, and there's a quick snap from Donegan going across the face of goal and through for a behind.
Disappointed with Caldwell there. He's behind the ruckman. He's got 2 hands around his waist. He's given away the free kick. And not only that, he stood there and argued instead of making an effort to get back and help his defenders.
I'm surprised they haven't tried Buse in the ruck, just use his leap and mobility.
Well, that's where he won his best and fairest, didn't he? And he's really hard to match up on because he gets around the ground so well and his vertical leaps outstanding.
Rounds to bring it in for Anglesea. It's a thumping kick too towards Grant. Did well, brought it to ground. He was the smallest man in the contest, but did well, Blake Grant. There's not much up ahead for him. His handball was to no one in particular. He butters up his own work. Oz kick style handball onto himself. He used to do that back in the day, Kingy. Just dance around one and handball through the legs.
I think some GFL players might have started that since the TAC stats tracker came into play, surely. Little loops over the top to yourself.
Ball will be brought back in. Just forward of centre wing for Anglesea. Anand won it down, been terrific. Taylor, it's Mitch. Goes by hand, just looped it over the top. Strong tackle. Was that a high? Did it slip up? Said the non-officiating umpire has paid it. He did pick it up. So it'll be a free kick going the way of the Grubbers.
I will say one thing, this game has been well umpired.
Has been. Kick isn't their best and chopped off by Darcy Elliott. I think is it Rounds. They look very similar, those two. Might be Rounds, in fact. At halfback, all Bell Warren.
Oh, wow.
They all look alike. Towards Erskine, who was up early. Good grab.
Oh, this is his distance.
By the big man, and he will have the distance. No worries about it. Just a matter of accuracy.
He'll kick this to somewhere where the carnival is over Christmas time, down on the foreshore if he gets onto it.
I think that's his first mark. If you had said that, 20 minutes into the second corner, that Erskine's just taken his first mark, you'd be surprised.
For 2 in a row. Jordan Erskine from 60 thumps the Sharon. He hasn't got much of it. Hasn't made the journey in the end. And the mark was fumbled over the line and out of play, 30 around.
Here's your old-fashioned duck hook off the tee, isn't it? Yeah. You pull that into the scrub. So it'll be a boundary throw in left forward pocket. Can they get a couple and just a bit of momentum going into half-time, the Roos? Ball back into play, doing the ruck work. Erskine grabbed it out of the ruck. Quick left foot snap, but playing the goalkeeper role back there. Well played by Ward, taking a mark down around his knees. Quickly send a ball wide. He's seen Fletcher kick out by himself, but the kick's got a little bit too much carry on it, in fact, and it'll be a free kick. And gee, that was a well-covered jump of the fence there by Chris Kennedy. Just sort of the one-hand arrangement over he went to go and retrieve the footy. And he'll come back, and now we go under this time. He's got Williams just cruising by. Williams from 48 metres sinks the slipper into it, but in doing so has pushed it to the right. Umpire says, in fact, bring it back. So I'm not exactly sure what's happened here. Is it coming back to Williams? He might have got a shove when he kicked it, potentially, is the decision, is it? I'm waiting for the ball to come back either way. So another stoppage in play. It's been a fairly lengthy day in terms of quarters. We had a 38-minute job in the first quarter. This one at 23. Might not go as long, not as many goals, but
This is where Ocean+Grove need to make sure they're organised in front of the ball there. They've got to make sure there's no holes and fill them up. Don't let them pass the ball.
you have to suspect Williams, like fancies himself, from 49 metres, sends a long, long ball, and he's pushed it to the right through for a behind. So a minor score there for the veteran Williams, and the margin is, again, 42 points. 2-4-16 the Roos. Ocean Grove, 8-10-58 in the second quarter of the BFNL elimination final for 2021. The winner to play Barwon Heads in next week's first semi-final.
I'm really surprised to see Anglesea's appetite to defend the football on the turnover. For a side that probably should have finished top 3 and is now in an elimination final, and they've got the aid of a 4-5 goal breeze, their, I guess, hunger or appetite to get the ball back off Ocean Grove is non-existent.
March back, got it to Lang. His kick was under pressure, so it didn't go the required journey. He butters up, though. Did well, Lang. And in the middle of the ground, look at all this space here for Ocean Grove to work into. There are numbers everywhere. Keck on the outer side. Can he pick up cleanly and handball over the top? He does. Donegan wheels and goes from 55. Good-looking ball to Patterson. And that is Ocean Grove 101.
And that's another example there where their ability to defend. A smaller, younger Ocean Grove players walk through a tackle, and it's cost them dearly. Another shot on goal.
Not a good day for the Leeds boys. Tommy, I think, hasn't come back from earlier in the day, and Sam's just gone off after a contest a little bit earlier where he found himself on the ground. So a bit of a blow there for the Roos as well if they're a couple down in their rotations.
Certainly not ideal for them. Patterson, line up for his second. He'll kick from 45 or so. Slide angle, in he comes, hangs it up, and he's kicked it.
That's a great goal.
A couple against the breeze for Ocean Grove, and they just continue to get better and better, Rory.
Once again, changing lanes with the football. So they've turned it over on this far, on the wing of the clubroom side, transition the footy to the far side, and they're not allowing Anglesea to set up behind the ball. They're engaging their defenders and forcing them to come out of the forward 50.
It's nearly done. I know
you keep trying to get me to say it, but I'm not yet.
You're a coach, and you think until you get the Lee Matthews goals and minutes remaining, you're still alive. But
yeah, look, Anglesea don't look like it at all, do they? As I said, their appetite to defend and get the footy off Ocean Grove is non-existent. On the turnover, I see so many Anglesea jumpers just walking.
That's got to be a free kick for Rounds. It is back in the middle. He was being held by the arm, and it'll come back. They did take the advantage, but the umpire says send it back from whence it came, and that'll be back to Luke Rounds in his first season at the Roos, former Bell Park star.
Probably something I'd be doing is throwing guys like Williams and Rounds on the footy. They've got experience, they're good players, they've got good skills.
Oh, Carson on the lead, sorry, Rory.
Right.
He just sat it into the right spot, Luke Rounds, all his experience with the kick, and he said to Dale Carson, I'm going to kick it here and you're going to run onto it and take it on your chest, and that's exactly what he did.
And Rounds hasn't had a lot of football, and that's the kind of people or players you want with the ball in hand for Anglesea, and they're the guys that need to stand up and get the Anglesea team going.
Dale Carson, playing his 53rd game for the Roos, has kicked 88 goals in blue and white. He starts it out to the right. It won't have the carry or work its way back. It's off the hands of the pack. Kobe Annan getting back to help it through for a rush behind. And the margin is 47. 2-5-17 playing 9-10-64. And a shout out to AFL Barwon Commissioner Ian McTaggart, who's watching the live stream from sunny Noosa.
Very good.
Tough life for some.
Afternoon tags, yeah, absolutely.
Half your luck, Tags. Once again, that's 3 scoring shots in a row that have been well outside 50 metres. Not much structure to their entries. They're just blazing away and hoping, to be honest.
Beers swoops in and intercepts for Anglesea. He'll drive it back inside 50. Just cloths the kick, though. Coughs it up. Clean pair of heels from Brome. Did well, but coughed it up to Kerr. But they still have numbers on the outside. Do the Grubbers. Pierce to half forward. Patterson and his bootlaces ran out of room. And the ball out of play. Right under the scoreboard, which reads 9-10-64. Ocean Grove, Anglesea 2-5-17. With 27 and a half minutes gone in the second term.
The old time clock for the old timers out there. It was the old... you had the yellow and then the little red bit when you got to the 25-minute mark, where the old change rooms were on the outer side for those who've been following Ballarat footy for a heck of a long time. Chance for Kirk. Have a handball up. Beers. Rice. Rounds. Sounds like my law firm. Now left foot kick to the wing. Bouncing ball. Erskine will take it and try and turn his man inside out. He couldn't get out of the ward tackle, and he had some help as well. And the help was good too. It came from Hobbs, and it opens the door now for the Grubbers. Oh, tucking it under the arm. That was confidence from the McDonald there. And now Erskine in a push and shove with Annan. And I tell you what, these young Grubbers, they're not taking a backward step, are they?
Absolutely.
Tom Ness wanting to get involved. Push and shove now with Sob.
Jeez, didn't Erskine make McDonald earn that little cough up?
They're really getting frustrated, Anglesea, aren't they?
So we'll get a boundary throw in true centre wing. Ball back into play. Anand winning the tap down. He's been good today, but Erskine, the roving handball off to Beers. Beers under pressure, just jammed it on the boot. Brought about 30 metres for his team, and it is now out of bounds and a boundary throw in at left half forward. 29 minutes almost ticked over in this second quarter of the BFL elimination final. 1964 Ocean Grove, Anglesea 2-5-17. Tom King, Rory Nicol bringing the action, and the next voice you'll hear is Josh Conway.
Brought in just outside 50 for Anglesea. How dearly they would love a goal here. Just before half-time, Buse dances through. I think he ended up missing his boot. Coughed up. Rawlings been terrific for Ocean Grove this afternoon. The experienced head just tumbles one forward. Nolan cops a rough bounce. Anand, Waters was smashed in a strong Belwarren tackle. Coughed up over the top to Sob, who was set upon quickly by Rawlings. Plenty of pressure still in this game. And Kerr brings his man over and out right in between the interchange benches.
Rory, you've been involved in local footy for a heck of a long time. Why is it that the intensity of the game is always greater in front of the interchange benches than it is on the outer side of the ground?
Yeah, well, because you obviously want to play next week, but for Anglesea at this stage, it's not looking too good.
Tossed in. Went over both the ruckman in the end. Belwarren, that was deliberate to kick it along the ground. Clean pick up from Elliott. His handball misses Kerr though. They've still got numbers. Rice was set upon. Had to kick quickly. Ocean Grove with numbers yet again. Pearce in the heart of Parlington Recreation Reserve gets over the head of Stephen. Taylor got 3 to his name. Beats his man. Kicks inside 50. It's a spearing ball and finds Waters. Just inside the paint of 50, chips over the top. Pearce kept running, and he marks just inside the boundary line, 30 metres out.
Just again on the turnover there, there's 6 Anglesea players coming through, back through the corridor, admittedly supposed to defend Ocean Grove's entry. But once again, Ocean Grove from one side of the ground, other, making Anglesea defend the whole ground, and it's really making Anglesea players uncomfortable.
Tricky kick this one, particularly against the breeze and the tight angle. We'll see what Harley Pearce can do. Already got 1 to his name this afternoon. Oh, he palms it off and got absolutely none of it. Barely got off the ground. That kick in the end. Belwarren for Anglesea. His handball was smothered by that man Pearce yet again. I'll have it tossed in.
The beauty of the effort of Ocean Grove, even when they do make a silly mistake like that, they're there to get the ball out of bounds or cause another stoppage. Whereas the other way around, if Anglesea make a mistake, Ocean Grove, 8, 9 times out of 10 are getting a scoring opportunity through it.
Boundary throw in left forward pocket at the Geelong end of the ground. Annan doing the ruck work. Caldwell won the tap down. Might be Buse fighting in there against Pickett. And we'll get a ball up. So 47 is the margin. Let's say it's that at half time, Rory. You're not done, but you'd need to set yourself some markers in the second half to work your way back into the contest.
Yeah, that's where the coaching staff probably just go back to basics and throw the magnets around and see if they can get a spark from Anglesea somehow. Admittedly, their pressure over the last 5 minutes has lifted Anglesea, but still, they're not getting a look at the goals, are they?
Coaches in the past have sent Dale Carson forward, but they've already done that, so that won't work. Kick towards the top of the goal square, looking for Patterson. Spoiled away, front of the pack. Kai Annan with a snap! Wonderful finish! The 6'5" Kai Annan took that like he was 5'10" and extremely mobile, but he's stunningly has taken that off the pack. The quick snap around the corner, and that, I reckon, may have put Anglesea to bed.
Yeah, I'm looking around at the Anglesea players. A lot of them are arguing with umpires and having conversations within themselves. They're just at sea at the moment. I remember a podcast, Kingy with the Ocean Grove coach, where he said the dress code was red and white 2 years ago when he first took on the job. And Anglesea don't look prepared for that. They're getting outnumbered at every contest. And as I said, their ability to defend is well below par for a final.
It's hard not to get excited, isn't it, Rory? Just looking at these young players performing on the biggest of stages, and they are playing some superb footy.
And it's probably something Ocean Grove haven't done typically over the last few years. They've recruited outside of the town. Whether it's forced upon them to go this way and play their kids is another, I guess, discussion. But at the moment, they're backing their kids in and they're getting good bang for their buck. Williams
again trying to assert his authority, dumping Taylor after the kick. This is Logan, goes inside 50. Geez, Patterson got up, went with the one hand. Might be coming back quickly though. Mitch Taylor kicks quickly to about 70 or so out from goal. Stephen lost the footy at ground level. Numbers converge again. Lang's over the top of it, and we'll have a ball up.
A lot of second guessing going on from the Anglesea players. Like even at Bell Warren, who's usually clean over the footy, there was really just a bit fumbly.
Yeah, it makes me question their preparation. Maybe when when we're in lockdown, etc. How much work are Ocean+Grove been doing, and how much work Anglesea have doing? Maybe that's what we're seeing in front of us right now.
High ball from Rounds to half forward. Blake Grant was there, and so was Josh Gummer. He couldn't mark, and that is half time in the elimination final of 2021. And of course, when players are near the interchange bench at half time, there always seems to be some push and shove.
Have a look at Paul Nigro and Jordan Erskine here.
Having very, very heated, animated would probably be the way to describe the discussion. And that is a frustrated football team wearing royal blue and white. They trail by 53 points. The young upstarts from Ocean+Grove, the Baby Grubbers, have got 1 foot in a Battle of the Bridge first semi-final next Sunday afternoon. And Pete Davey did say late in the season that if they were to play finals, that would be a great result. Winning a final, well, what is that?
Well, as I said before the game, if I was Paul Nigro, I'd be really nervous coming into this game because, we've probably underachieved where we've finished on the ladder from an Anglesea point of view. And then you come up against a side that's young, brash, they show no fear, and they've got absolutely nothing to lose today. If I said to Ocean+Grove Football Club, you'll play your first final, and giving these kids the exposure of a final, that's a win, whether you win or lose. And if they can take a win out of this, I'll tell you what, coming up against Bowen Heads on a big ground too, if that eventuates, there's no stopping them. Who knows how far they can go.
They did beat him in the Battle of the Bridge earlier this year.
Yeah. Over at Bowen Heads too, which is, it's a really difficult thing to do.
What are you doing next Sunday?
I'm not sure. Obviously, I am sure now after that comment. But
I was going to ask you during the week, but I might as well
ask me now.
Might as well ask you now.
Put me on the spot.
All going to plan. We'll come back and do it all again next week. It's half time. We're going to take a break and just cut our transmission for a while, but it is a 53-point lead for Ocean+Grove over Anglesea at half-time of the BFL elimination final for 2021. We'll be back shortly. Hope you're enjoying the call through the AFL Bowen Facebook live stream.
I was just wondering if I could possibly get them.
Yeah. They're up there on the sheet. Come up.
One of the pants.
It's fucking terrible. How long have you been here?
Where? Nah, I'm doing the special comments.
Oh, right.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Geez, I had a bloody. What are you talking about? So are you up in that box up there?
Yeah, we're not looking.
Listen, can you give that? That's the Anglesea one.
There you go.
Is that, and he's up there with you, is he? Yeah, you can just give him that. Tell him I'll be in the room after you go to work. Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
Thanks, man. Do you mind if I come up at the end of the game as well?
Yeah, it's fine, mate. Rock so, yeah.
I mean, we played for this. I know they lost to it. And that's their big thing. We beat them up the road. Yeah, grass is they were certainly younger than we always thought that they probably Oh yeah, and then 6 or 7 new blokes, which are fairly young. Not the no. St John's are playing fine, so well, they might be but yeah, look, Nico's still got a bit of Jordan to all. He wants to play, so he doesn't have but just keep it there. Yeah, and that's where it's so look, and I think these guys have won. And if they play Brunswick, they'll probably be through. So that's just going to be the difference between us. We'll step up. But that's the thing, but just keep it.
Yeah, no, I will.
Jordan needs to be. No. His kids are pretty hard. He's got another one to play. This probably I think the kid, Bear's kid, has got some confidence. It's really good. Look, in Anglesea, if we had a beer available after the game? He said, no.
I said the king and go give me one now. I passed on.
All right, mate.
Good to see you,
You
mate.
too.
I'll give this to the cameraman.
Right, thanks, mate.
It's confusing. Like, yeah, get to see him. It's round on. Right up,
Back here at Port Arlington Recreation Reserve, and it is half-time, nearly at its conclusion in the BFNL first elimination, or only elimination final. First elimination final. It's not AFL, there's only one elimination final. And Anglesea right now is staring down the barrel of an exit from the 2021 season. Ocean+Grove 10-10-70 after a stunning 7-goal, 6 first quarter. Matty Sproul, who of course just by default, by pandemic, held on to his record as the longest-serving coach in BFL history.
Yep.
Otis got Steve Clark got absolutely jibbed. Sprowley, I know you're listening and I know you've got a smile on your face when I say this, but he just wanted to say, Anglesea too slow, can't win any midfield ball. What a great job Pete Davies done. Done a lot of work during lockdown. At lockdown 5, they had running blocks, and he's saying, keep it up, Rory. Just out of interest is, I'm going to ask during the third quarter as Josh Conway gets us underway what you're doing next year, Rory.
Oh, okay.
That might be the biggest talking point of this second half, the way the scoreboard's shaping up. Kerr got it cleared abuse for Anglesea. They need a hot start to this second half. Rounds, that won't do the job. Chopped off by the impressive Mitch Taylor at half-back. He looks ahead. Not much on for him. Thinks about going inboard, but just chips it straight down. Geez, Harrison got up early. Couldn't take the mark, and they go again. Ocean+Grove, Donegan at centre-half forward. Strong hands. What does he do here? Donegan goes looking for Ward, who dropped one he probably should have taken and would. 99 times out of 100. Spilt the footy. Soccred clear. Numbers on the outer side with Beers. Goes by hand to Bell Warren, who dances through, goes his non-preferred left foot. Does it stay in play? It just did. With Bews and the ball out of play.
What are you doing next year, Rory?
Calling BFL games with you.
Pleading the fifth. Coaching talent like yours shouldn't be wasted. Boundary throw in. Anand and Caldwell went through the hands of Kennedy at the front of the pack. Dragged down as he kicked Rawlings. It rolls towards the boundary line and out of bounds. Have you noticed any change to how Anglesea have structured up? Obviously kicking into the breeze in this quarter. Have they done anything that can make them more attacking? They just have to attack the game now. They can't afford to play safe and then try and use the breeze to come home.
Just looking across the ground, they look like they are more one-on-one. Apart from Ryan Williams off the back of the stoppage there, they are all manned up. So, as I suggested, that's what they need to do is go back to basics and play one-on-one footy.
Caldwell winning the tap down. Kerr at the front of the pack, wrapped up in the tackle by Rawlings instantaneously. That surely can't be holding the ball. And the ball has actually spilled out. The umpire was circling umpire O'Neill like he was going to pay holding the ball. And instead he says, now give it to me, it's not coming out. Nobody's going anywhere. And I'll throw it into the air. Anand, Caldwell, it's allowed to hit the ground. Anand picked it up on the bounce, released a handball to his skipper, Wilkie. Wilkie gives a handball off to Rawlings. Rawlings a high ball, sends it towards a one-on-one. Carson against Kai Anand. And Carson, with all his experience, has taken the mark on the chest.
Would it even be worth sending someone like Williams or someone to Rawlings to try and get them involved in the game?
Carson
Getting way too much football.
drives at the half-back. Caldwell marks, unopposed really in the end. They've got numbers inboard here with Rounds.
Maybe even Luke Rounds runs with him and makes Jack Rawlings a bit more, I guess, conscious of what's going on the other way because he's just brought his own footy, Rawlo.
Rounds kick hung up in the air a long time, allowed Taylor to come in and affect the spoil. Did a good job. Mitch Taylor, the ball's still in dispute here on centering on the outer side, and now the umpire decides to throw it up. 3 minutes gone in this third term. Ball does go up in the air now. Caldwell won it down for Anglesea, but yet again, no advantage. Rounds kicks hurriedly. Beers cops a bad bounce. This is Mitch Taylor inside the field of play just. Keeps it in. They flick it by hand. Wilkie Taylor kept running. Kerr was with him. Bewes strong over the footy. As always, got it to Rounds, but he ran out of room. The ball out of play.
Just a bit more intent about Anglesea.
Yeah, there is a bit, but they still can't string together more than 2 possessions.
Anand, Caldwell winning the tap down, but it's going to be to the favour of McDonald trying to run onto the footy, held up by Rice. Coming the other way, Bell Warren dropped it onto his, Stephen dropped it onto his boot, and then it fell towards Williams and Bewes, who go with same Barmer, and we'll get a ball up. Although it looks like Williams has missed the beard for a while. Tapped down by Caldwell, running onto it. Kerr in the middle of Port Arlington Recreation Reserve gives a handball to Sob. Sob gives it back to Kerr. Kerr finds himself in trouble. Went to ground, genuflected, then got back to his feet. Sends along wanting Grant. Spoil from behind came, but straight into the path of Rounds. Rounds with a flying shot. Much needed goal. I reckon he's kicked it. He has. So some life maybe about the Roos. They're back to within 47 points. Anglesea 3-5-23. Ocean+Grove 10-10-70. And one into the breeze 4 minutes into this third quarter of the BFNL elimination final of 2021. Here's Rory Nicol on our broadcast.
Yeah, I think that's your man to find some sort of spark for Anglesea. A quality player, played at a high level. Been a little bit quiet today, but when the ball's been in his hands, something's happened. So obviously they've thrown him on the footy now, which is a good start, and see if he can provide a spark that Anglesea need.
Superb finish on the run from Luke Grounds, one of the more highly skilled players going around in the competition, clearly. So, good start for the Roos. 3-5-23. Rounds a second moves them on to. Ocean+Grove 10-10-70. 5 minutes about to tick by in this third term. Wilkie was nearly held without it by Kerr. They still win the clearance with it. Anand kicks hurriedly. Harrison, haven't called his name much this afternoon, got his handball clear to Williams. Quick handball over the top. They've got numbers. Wobbled forward by Belwarren. That's a clean pickup. They go to about 55 out, but all the numbers with Ocean+Grove and the mark taken by Glenn Campbell.
They come across the face of their defensive goal. Brome onto his left boot, brings a broadcast swing. I'll kick too much onto it for Taylor. Stephen will be first back there. Bounce sits up nicely for him, swings onto his right boot and the low kick. I don't reckon he got full purchase on it, but it fell onto the chest of Rice. Rice wants Grant in a one-on-one. Good defensive spoil. Knocking it away might have been Gummer. Chance now for Wilkie at the boundary line. He's going to get a free kick because he was being held by Rice before he took possession. Umpire sees a free kick to Wilkie. The skipper swings onto his right boot, quickly wants to get it forward, looking for Patterson from behind. Good defensive spoil came from Jordan Harrison, and he knocks it out of bounds for a boundary throw-in.
It's probably the first actual decent punch from behind I've seen to actually clear the area from an Anglesea defender. Most of the time the ball's coming to ground, inviting in the smaller players, but he's actually cleared the ball away and got a stoppage for Anglesea.
Have controlled the first 6 minutes of this third quarter. Have the Roos, but they still trail by 47 from the boundary thrown out the back. Rounds on the outside of the right boot with the kick, with the flight. Brome couldn't take it. Sob took the loose foot. His handball was indiscriminate. Taken now by Campbell. He was dumped by Sob after getting rid of it. Umpire said play on the kick clear for Ocean+Grove towards half forward. Waters attacks it, couldn't take it. McDonald, if he had taken, he might have had too much pace for Rounds. He was able to just get it forward towards Patterson, who showed good hands below his knees. Then tried to get it back towards McDonald, but couldn't. Anglesea have got numbers to try and lock the footy up. Knocking it away was Buse towards Williams. He got it back on the bounce to Kennedy, and Kennedy, with a big handball release, he went looking for Belwarren. He missed him, put it out of bounds, and it's a boundary throw-in at right half forward for the Grubbers, who lead by 47 in the third quarter of the elimination final. Hope you're enjoying the AFL Barwon Facebook live stream. Tom King, Rory Nicol, and Josh Conway.
Plenty of action this afternoon too. There's 3 live stream games of senior female footy this afternoon for you to enjoy happening right now, and there's some A-grade netball. If you want to flick around the local footy and netball action this afternoon, Ocean+Grove drive it back inside 50. Ward with the sit. It goes out the back. Can they hit the scoreboard again? They can. Has it gone through? It just did.
That's literally gone straight
It's a
through
couple
Carson's hands.
to Kai Anand. A lovely finish. He's been a nice focal point for the Grubbers. They've got 11-10, 76. Anglesea 3-5-23.
Well done by Ocean+Grove. That, you know, Anglesea were always going to come out and fire. They're a proud club with proud footballers, so they just had to weather the storm, and they've been patient. It's taken them 8 minutes roughly, but they've got their first goal.
Kyan and has only came in with 4 goals to his name in his very short career, and he's kicked 2 this afternoon, and they're probably a bonus for Pete Davey, who right now I think can start thinking about how he prepares for Barwon Heads next week. Umpire tosses it into the air. Kobe Anand winning the tap down, roving by Kerr. Don't argue on Lang. Was able to dribble a kick for Grant. Wonderful hands, and then a handball up towards Nolan. Nolan's kick, though, has been pulled into the left forward pocket. It'll roll towards the boundary line and out of bounds. He just mishit the kick there. Should say Elliott, Darcy Elliott. And out of bounds for a boundary throw-in.
From a coach's point of view, that will absolutely be the last thing he'll be thinking about. Thinking about Barwon Heads next week.
Sure, it might have just.
You reckon?
You might have just. A lot of footy still to be played in this one. Erskine out of the ruck, grabs it, jams it on the boot to the goal square. Buse front position, couldn't take the mark. Good spoil from behind, might have been Gummer. Hobbs a handball to Gummer. Now to Taylor, who's been outstanding this afternoon. That was Mitch. A good chain of handballs here to release Pickett, although under pressure from Buse. He might have got a shove in the back. Did he? No, umpire said, I'll throw it in. And he has made a free kick for a push. And it will go to Connor Pickett in the right back pocket.
Anglesea's mindset will be just to win this quarter. If they can win the corner and just shrink the margin a wee bit, and then that last quarter throw everything at it. So Ocean+Grove just need to ensure they draw this quarter or slightly win it.
Pickett was forced to go back behind his mark to take his kick. Got a fair bit on it, carried a long way with the breeze. Stephen caught in a strong Donegan tackle, just dropped the footy, play on. Said the umpire, numbers converge. Patterson with the quick hands, tried to find his skipper, and Wilkie had a little fumble. Ball comes to the outer side. Beers has had plenty of it for the Roos towards Erskine. Gee, that's a good grab from Pickett. Yet again, strong grab in front of Jordan Erskine. Easier said than done, Kingy.
Absolutely. Pickett sends a ball long towards half forward. It's a 3-on-1. Donegan did well just to provide a contest and let the ball come to ground. Trying to shovel the ball out of there is Swain. Quick kick out, Williams. He had his kick smothered, and it went back underneath the pack, and we will get a ball up at right half forward, about 60 metres out from the Ocean Grove goal, attacking the Port Town end in this third quarter. Umpire puts it into the air. Caldwell winning the tap down. Kick out of the pack was Tom Stephen, went nowhere. Trying to burst his way through. I reckon that's Lang slung. He was slung about 720, maybe even the full 1080. And he's been pinged for holding the footy. Stephen wins the free, or rather Sam Leeds wins the free kick. Gives a handball off to Williams and they'll go from half back.
They do. Looking for Erskine yet again. The ball just hung in the breeze and fell well short of the big target.
Williams had time then. He's looked up and seen 4 Ocean Grove players versus 2 and still decided to kick there. They need to change lanes with the ball and try and create something out the other side of the ground.
Taylor was caught high fortuitously in the end because the kick wasn't great to him and the pressure was coming, but I think it was Sob who was giving away the free kick. And he's just sitting all over the top of Mitch Taylor. Finally lets him up. Impressive youngster, this man. Goes short to Wilkie in acres of space. Drives it to centre half forward. Swain has the height advantage over Donegan, but Donegan has the agility at ground level. Couldn't quite pick it up. Swain just ragdolled him off the ball. Coughed it up. Lang, he coughs up the handball too. They work it out by hand. Anglesea. This is Beers. Off half-back, spearing ball finds the chest of Dale Kerr.
Kerr, true centre wing. It's the next kick that's the crucial one. He sends a high ball inside forward 50. Grants his marking target from behind Marchbank with the spoil. Quick kick out of the pack. Will roll into the path of Buse. Buse, can he pick it up? That's what the key will be. He can't pick it up, and in the end, maybe he shinned it through.
He's accidentally kicked that goal.
As he shinned that through, there's going to be a discussion. Well, the umpire's going to say it's come off his knee or has it come off his shin? This could be a crucial decision, and I reckon it's going to be a goal. He shinned it through as Jackson Buse. Not one for the archives, but he has managed to get it through for a crucial 6 points, and the margin is again back to 47. He just needed it to sit up, and it didn't sit up for him, but he kept the ball in front of him, and in the end, that proved crucial.
Maybe their luck's turning. He's accidentally kicked that goal, so...
Not a noted goal kicker, Jackson Buse, just the 5th of the season, and a lucky one at that, but 47 points, it's not insurmountable knowing they're going to kick with the breeze in the last. They need to be back within 5 or 6, you would suspect, at three-quarter time?
Yeah, well, you'd assume so, but Ocean Grove obviously look really fit, so it's hard to see them kicking sort of 7-8 goals in a quarter, isn't it?
Geez, Carson was strong in the air. Another clearance from McDonald, but the experienced swingman at the front of the pack with some strong hands. He's got Beers on this outer side. Geez, that's as poor of a kick I've seen from Dale Carson. Lang just hacks it out of midair. Stephen comes with the flying fist. Falls to ground level. Waters from 45. Can he work it around? Yes, he can.
I'm not sure if there's any advantage having Carson back at this stage. The game's not there to be saved. It's there to be won. So maybe stretch Ocean Grove's defence and put some tall timber forward.
That's a fair finish from Tom Waters. Got every bit of that from inside the paint of 50. Ocean Grove's 12th of the afternoon. 12-10-82. They lead Anglesea 4-5, 29, 13 and a half minutes gone in the third term.
So Waters has kicked a goal a game since joining from Parkdale in the VAFA. And that hair is something to behold as well.
Some interesting haircuts, Ocean Grove players.
The COVID's obviously kept a few barbers quiet.
Oh, I don't think they need COVID Kingy to be rolling with this sort of stuff down that way.
Rory at the moment, Rory's got this sort of very sort of...
Pablo.
That's, yeah, sort of, yeah. Yeah, I had a phrase there, but I suspect it's one that I might be getting a phone call from Sean Atkinson to explain myself on Monday.
Not on commercial radio, Kingy.
No, but still held to a standard. Grant slung down in the tackle. Chance now to clear for Pickett. He sends a kick towards right half forward. It eludes Pearce and also Swain. Swain will be first back there, but Pearce will come with a rush. Patterson was there as well. Harrison knocked it away for Anglesea towards the boundary line. Picked it up nicely too. And through the outstretched arms of Waters, can only kick it out on the full. Yeah, I reckon he's bounced that off the top of the fence. That's an impressive effort to do that. And it's a free kick, and Fletcher Keck, who's one of those running with sort of your shaggy look. Looks like he's just walked out of the waves at 13th. Kick, a high kick, inside 50. Good use of the body there and a good mark taken by Ward. That's one of the better marks of the day. Could have easily given a free kick away for a push coming with his momentum, but just held his run and was able to just work his opponent under the foot. He took a nice mark, and he'll have a shot at goal and a chance to extend this margin, potentially out to 59. It's at its equal highest of the game so far at 53, so any score will make it the biggest of the afternoon. He'll kick from 52. He has absolutely shanked that off his shin, and it's going to land safely on the chest of Ryan Williams, and Anglesea can start their attack.
The Breeze is really playing havoc at the moment with some ball drops out there. Geez, Kerr came with some venom. Gave away the free kick, though. Going the way of Will Brome. Long way from home. Left foot.
Oh.
Geez, there we go again. That's an absolute mung of a thing. Goes out on the full. That's hard to do. So, if you've just tuned in, the game's been a little better than that, skill-wise. But the Breeze certainly not making it easy for some players out there at the moment, as Harrison goes short. Hung up in the air a long time for Williams. He couldn't mark, then he was stripped of it. The pressure's still there from Anglesea, from Ocean+Grove, Beers' handball had to be quick too. And look at the numbers flying in the red jumpers.
Ocean+Grove's forward line pressure's been outstanding for the entirety of the game. They've forced Anglesea wide. They've forced them to go out of bounds. It's a credit to the young guys.
Well, it was a free kick to the Grubbers. Pearce had it. Oh, now Carr's holding the ball. Oh, Dale Carson has been wrapped up in a cracking tackle by Kai Annan, who's a chance to go back and kick his third. So they went across the face of goal, which is always dangerous. And when you've got the Breeze involved as well, wow, you're asking for trouble.
It's a brave kick. Once again, Ocean+Grove creating opportunities for themselves with pressure.
Kai Annan, we talked about Logan Taylor being one of the stories of this game. Well, Kai Annan as well, providing all sorts of headaches inside the Ocean+Grove forward line, and he's missed. So disappointing there to push it to the right-hand side. I've got 2-2 for him for this afternoon, Buzz. I hope you can concur with that. And
Yep.
It's 12-11 Ocean+Grove. Anglesea 4-5, and they have their biggest lead of the afternoon at 54 points, 17 and a half minutes gone in this third quarter. I hope you're enjoying the live stream through the AFL Bowen Facebook page. As Buzz said, netball and also women's football taking part in the live streams this afternoon. Make sure if you want to check out some action elsewhere this afternoon, you head to the AFL Bowen Facebook page and they will have links to those games.
Williams plays on from the kick out, just drives it as far as he can. It's a no great advantage. Grant fell over when he didn't want to, falls to Carson, forced to kick on his left boot. Erskine got his handball cleared just towards Elliott of the Darcy variety, copped a bad bounce. Erskine again goes with the tackle, nearly legged his opponent, no free kick. Strong tackle from Rawlings. Hasn't been as prominent in this third term as he was in the opening half. He was tremendous. We'll have a ball up on the edge of the centre square.
Once again, outnumbered at the contest and just stripping the ball off Anglesea and coming away from the contest by hands.
Of course, Anglesea had to come into this clash without the Lynch brothers, who reside in Melbourne and unfortunately then couldn't be picked for this game. It's a situation that's impacted a number of clubs across the region with those who live in the metropolitan areas. So I'm sure they'll be disappointed that they couldn't be part, and also disappointed that they won't probably get a chance to play beyond this weekend if lockdown was lifted in Melbourne on Thursday. From the boundary throw-in, Caldwell a handball up. Trying to barge his way through traffic was Rice. Kick from Rawlings was partially smothered, just reefed out of there by Rounds, who threw it on the boot towards half forward. Knocked forward by Darcy Elliott. Erskine in a one-on-one just shoved his opponent off the footy. Umpire says, I'll throw it in. Erskine appealing for a free kick for being held. Umpire didn't see it that way. And we'll get the ball thrown back into play just forward of the wing on the outer side near the scoreboard, showing Ocean+Grove leading by 54. They're 83, Anglesea 29, and the Grubbers look headed for a first semi-final.
Shorter, and what a mouth-watering clash
Oof.
that's shaping up to be. Strong tackle. Their pressure around the footy's been tremendous. That was McDonald that time for Ocean+Grove.
Can we just ask for a crowd exemption for next Sunday? Because there will be people everywhere.
That'd be massive. You can only hope, Kingy. Tossed up. Buse is in the ruck, as Rory Nicholl called for in the second term. That's why you wasted up here, Rory. Well done. I think it's a mark going to be paid to Brome. It is.
It'd be interesting. In the old days, you used to try and sneak beer into the footy ground. Now you'd be trying to sneak in people.
Brome drives it forward. Harrison with a strong fist out of play.
You can't fit people into the wheel hole.
The wheel arch. You've obviously done it before.
Apparently you can fit 3 slabs in there, but apparently depends on the size of your tyre. We don't condone that behaviour. Boundary throwing, rolling ball, and we'll get a stoppage, I suspect, from that boundary throwing. No, umpire says I'm going to squat, and that will be a holding the ball decision. And this game, I actually think this is just starting to peter out now. It's just got that feeling of real foreboding for Anglesea. Darcy Elliott, I think, with the resultant free kick, his driving kick, that wasn't intended for the chest of Jackson Buse. That's where it ended up. Handballs it back to Elliott, and that's Jack sending it towards half forward. Not a great kick, no favour there for Erskine Hobbs playing in front. Happy to see it out of bounds. We'll get a boundary throw in. He's done a pretty good job down there, Reece Hobbs, this afternoon. They only had 2 players from their 2017 elimination final, he and Cam Marchbank. So no finals experience at BFL senior level for the other 20 players for the Grubbers. You wouldn't know that.
You're right in Hobbsy having a good go at Erskine. He's played really well, but geez, you always look up and there's support for him. Always.
Here he is in action against Erskine, who thumped it down in the direction of Sob, who goes to work at ground level. Kerr tries to break through 3 tacklers and then brought to ground. The pressure again. There has been no time to breathe for Anglesea. Ocean+Grove have been superb, and is it Mitch Taylor with the free kick?
It might be Gummer.
No, it's Gummer with the resultant kick. This is Hobbs, takes a liberty of a bounce in his own defensive half, drives it just below our vantage point. Long driving ball over the head of McDonald, tough one to judge in the swirling breeze. Williams brought it to ground level, smashes into his man. Handball clear, and again they burst out of a stoppage situation. Donegan's kick to half forward, Rounds was there. He tries to beat a couple, tries to fend off, keeps it in play just, and the ball tumbling towards the boundary line on the Ocean+Grove bench and out of play. The
umpire had the whistle to the mouth about to ping Luke Rounds, and he was about to blow it, and he thought, oh, hang on, he's got out of that, and he's kicked it away. And we're at true centre wing with a boundary throw. In 22 minutes gone, 54-point lead for Ocean+Grove in this third quarter. Umpire slings it back into play. It's a shallow throw-in. Annan with a double fister into the path of Tom Waters. Tries to knock it to his own advantage. Warren just buffets him off the ball. Creates a path for Stephen, chance for Pickett. Went to soccer off the ground, Wilkie, and had a complete fresh airy. Pickett was good, out of traffic, gave a handball off. Rawlings on his left, sends it long inside,
Great
forward,
kick.
50. Oh, what a well-weighted ball into the path of Ward. He put it to advantage side, which gave the defence no chance. The defence had set themselves up on the attacking side. He kicked it defensive side, and Ward was able to take it comfortably. And the man who kicked 2 goals back in round 7 in the loss to the Roos. Remember, it was a 42-point win for Anglesea earlier in the season. And he started at left, and that is where it stayed. And the margin is now 55. So this is representing right now a 93-point turnaround from earlier in the season. 12-12-84 Ocean+Grove. That's 24 scoring shots to 9. Anglesea 4-5-29. 23 minutes gone on the third quarter time clock.
Such a good player, Jack Rawlings. Always got time and space with the football. Dances around players. I encouraged him to come to Werribee when I spent time up there coaching, and he had a pre-season there and probably would have made the list if it wasn't for him working down at Lorna. It was just a bit difficult to get to training, but I highly respect Jack as a footballer, and somebody Bowen Heads need to be putting time into.
Come back to the club this year, obviously, after some time in the VAFA. Kingy, so great addition, some experience to help this young, exciting brigade they've got down Ocean+Grove way. Elliott hands off to Beers. Not a great kick at all. Coughed up again. Right on the outer side. Hobbs just drives it inside 50. They go again. Ball at ground level. Looping handball. Rounds chops it off, and he's brought down in a ferocious tackle. And holding the ball is a decision. The Anglesea players throw their arms up in the air, questioning the decision. But that was the strongest of strong tackles.
And that sums up the day for Anglesea, doesn't it? The intent there to get Rounds to the ground and tackling has been the difference between the two teams.
Ward again.
I think there was an argument that it might have been a little bit high. That's what the Anglesea players were appealing for.
Been doing a lot of appealing, Anglesea, today. It's not helping them. They need to just concentrate on winning the football.
So this will be Ward's first, remarkably, of the afternoon. No, still doesn't have one. 3 behinds to his name.
So margin's 56. They're just incrementally pulling away at the moment. That's 3 consecutive behinds. And Ward with 3 behinds for the afternoon. But I think it's safe to say that Ocean+Grove are going to advance and win their way through to the first semi-final next Sunday here at Port Arlington. Kerr, with the glove on, has a bounce as he runs from his defensive goal square, pulls a kick and makes Belwarren stretch, but he's taken the mark. There's Dyson Belwarren, one of a numerous.
That's 50.
And it is 50. Yep, the old fake to go sideways has caught out Jake Wilkie. And a rare mistake from the Grubbers this afternoon. He quickly wants to get the kick away and he's shanked it, but thankfully Williams is able to take it on the bounce. He went looking for Tom Stephen. He overran the footy, went back to try and find it. Little soccer off the ground. Is that going to be considered deliberate? No, boundary thrown as Rounds had really no intent to keep that in the field of play. And despite the appeals from the Ocean+Grove players, umpire O'Neill says throw that one into play.
Rome thought it was deliberate, Kingy.
Just trying to con the umpire. That didn't happen. Will Bryan still wanting to argue the toss. I've never seen an umpire change his mind.
I think he might have thought that the signal was just sort of missaw it. McDonald bursts out. Clean pair of heels, drives it. Carson's got better position, just bounces off his chest though. Still got the numbers. Nolan, over the top to Carson. Straightens up, looks for his right foot, goes by hand. In the end to Swain, who's set upon. The big tackle. Geez, Anglesea caught in the headlights, Rory Nickel.
Yeah. As I said, it's been the summary of the day, just the want to win the footy and get the footy back off the opposition. The difference between the two sides is quite far apart.
They went inside forward 50. It was Donegan who laid the wonderful tackle. He might be small of stature, but he's big of heart. Now the kick inside 50. It's a high ball. It's McDonald sending it towards the top of the square. Kai Anand, who's got a couple of goals to his name, flying against Carson. And he sees it out of bounds for a boundary throw-in in the right forward pocket. Well, if they weren't household names coming into the final series, some of these Ocean+Grove kids have really enhanced their stocks with their performance here this afternoon, as maybe the weather just slightly turning. Just got a little bit dark here at Port Arlington as well. And the clouds just starting to roll in. There wasn't any real prediction of any precipitation. Hopefully it stays away if there is going to be any for at least the next 3/4 of an hour. And we've got a boundary throw in, right forward pocket. And it's a shallow throw in. And the ball's going to bounce into the path of Rounds, who just jammed it on the boot towards Rice. Rice has it at defensive 50. Trying to fight for the footy was Rounds with Rice. They can't extract it from the pack, and we'll get another stoppage at the 50-metre arc. Ocean+Grove in attack. They lead by 56. And they're on the verge of a first semi-final meeting with the arch rivals Barwon Heads. A rare finals battle of the bridge, but we're looking forward to it next Sunday here at Port Arlington.
Absolutely. Belwarren storms out of the middle. Elliott, Darcy was clean. This is Luke Rounds again, was stripped of it, just dropped the ball. Holding the footy is the correct decision too. Erskine doesn't like it, but it looked there. Switch of play comes to Hobbs. It's a centre-half back, and Brome marks. Cops a nudge from Rice, wants 50, nothing doing. Brome dances inside Erskine. How about that for a bit of candy? They're confident when that sort of stuff's happening in their back half. They're streaming forward again. McDonald being busy in this third term. Tumbling ball forward, and the mark taken by Harley Pearce. He goes quickly onto his left boot towards Patterson. Take your pick, or Logan Taylor, who marks directly in front.
Just over that far side, stripped of the football with a tackle, but you just notice the Ocean+Grove jumpers around the contest or the tackler, and there's just no support for Anglesea. So I just find the teammates for each other aren't working hard enough for the ball carrier. When you do get in trouble, you need to fire off a handball. There's just no one to give it to. That's why the Anglesea players are getting caught with the ball.
The man who started it all, Logan Taylor, 3 opening term goals, doesn't add to his tally. Stay at 3 goals. 3 goals, 2 to his name. What a brilliant opening he had to the game to light Ocean Grove up, setting them on their way to now what is a dominant scoreboard, 12-14-86 to 4-5-29.
57 points, but that's 4 consecutive behinds. They could have really put some hurt on the Roos. The short kick in is marked by Kerr. That came from Belwarren. But once again, just nowhere to go with the next possession, and Belwarren has to come up to defensive 50 and provide an option. Now he's just stuttering on the spot, steps inside Pickett, now gives a handball to Rounds. Rounds has to run backwards to go forwards. He goes with a lateral ball, and it's a good one. It's good one onto the chest. I think it might be Schneering, who's dragged down as he kicked, and he gets it out wide, but it goes through the legs of Caldwell. Rolling ball. Caldwell leaves Ness to the footy. He's wrapped up in a good tackle. Ness tries to bring him to ground. He was able to get the ball on the boot. Well, that shouldn't be holding the ball. He was able to get the ball on the boot and get the ball away, but the umpire has paid the free kick, and it'll be Ness to take it. He just chips a little kick over the top, and it's just got enough flight on it to be marked by McDonald. Was there a 50-metre penalty? No, the umpire just, I think, maybe telling Ash Caldwell to let it go. McDonald laterally, Brome has marked. Brome coming from North Bendigo in the Heathcote League. He actually went back there and played a game during the year, during one of the COVID shutdowns of the BFL season while they still played up north, and he got a game in there, but the Grubbers forward 4-8 turned over. The short kick taken by Buse after he dropped the mark, handball to Caldwell, who's a sitting duck. Oh, Lang wrapped him up. See, that's holding the ball, but the umpire didn't pay it either way. Annan's come up with it and given it to Brome.
Brome goes by hand. He'll get it back. Dances through one from 55. Brome gets nothing of it. Williams has got front position. Brought down, shooting himself a free kick, and does. We're playing in front of Logan Taylor.
Turning into a training drill now, isn't it?
Just a little bit.
You almost need a mercy rule in a final because there's nothing. What's going to be gained out of playing the last quarter here?
Jeez, Rounds got up early. Gave away the free kick and all the mark taken by Brome, who just jabs on inside 50. Playing kick to kick. Williams doesn't complete the mark. Doesn't matter. 3/4 time siren. Ocean Grove are nearly home. 12-14-86 lead Anglesea 4-5-29 at the final change, Kingy.
57-point advantage, Buzz, and it's going to be a big, big win. They would need everything to go right, Anglesea, in the final term, but it appears their season's over. And once again, Paul Nigro and Jordan Erskine with a couple of words to each other, and I suspect Jordan's fairly frustrated at the delivery he's received this afternoon, but you've got to give credit to the Ocean Grove defence. The pressure from the midfield firstly, but then also the pressure from the defensive unit. The likes of Gummer and Hobbs and Campbell have been very impressive this afternoon. We'll take a break, come back with the final quarter from Port Arlington. It's 3/4 time in the BFNL elimination final, and it's Ocean Grove by 57 points. Three-quarter time here at Port Arlington Recreation Reserve. Ron Evans Oval and Ocean+Grove have put Anglesea to the sword this afternoon. 12-14-86 to Anglesea 4-5-29. If you're just joining our broadcast through AFL Barwon Facebook live stream, tell you that Ocean+Grove kicked 7 in the opening term to lead by 41 points at quarter time and basically have controlled the contest ever since. Logan Taylor with 3 goals leading the way for the Grubbers, 2 for Patterson and 2 for Kyanand, while for Anglesea, 2 for Luke Rounds, the only multiple goal kicker. But Rory, it's a fine line here. You don't want to flirt with your form, but there's probably some sense of going into self-preservation mode in this last quarter too to ensure that you're right for next Sunday in a clash with Barwon Heads for the Grubbers.
Yeah, well, when you start to do that, things go wrong. You can get injured because you're not going as hard as you should at the contest. Ocean+Grove have just got to continue doing what they've done the whole game, and to be honest, they just want to concentrate on how they want to start against Barwon Heads and finish that way.
Final quarter of the elimination final. Here's Josh Conway.
Buse into the ruck for Anglesea. Geez, Lang charging away from 60 towards Patterson. Fist came. Carson was clean. Swain caught in a strong tackle from Donegan. They're not relenting, Ocean+Grove. They are not giving up at all. The desire, Rory, is still there in the final term as it was at the very start of the game.
Yeah, and they want to send a message to the rest of the competition that's still involved in finals that they can play 4 quarters of football on a big ground in tough conditions. And so far the start, as you said, they're not going to give up or waver.
This is pretty much a gimme, you would suspect, for Donegan directly in front. And the mark is right at the top of the goal square, so should have no issues for his first goal of the day. Straight through. And they come from everywhere too to get around him, and why wouldn't you? 13-14-92, they lead Anglesea 4-5-29.
From an outsider looking in, they look like they've got a lot of mateship, and whether they've shared those special moments as juniors winning premierships, but to be so far ahead and one of their mates kicks a goals and 90% of the team run down and give them a pat on the back, there's something special in amongst the group, isn't there?
22 goals for the year now for Sam Donegan as a small forward. Playing starvation corner and you're averaging better than a goal and a half a game's a great result.
Absolutely.
So he's got 22. Ward's got 22 for the year. Should have added to that today. He's kicked 3 behinds, and of course Patterson now with 38, 6th in the BFL goal kicking, which Lucas Anderson has taken out. The Torquay star this year, of course, started on absolute fire in season 2021 coming from St Joseph's. Umpire to toss it back up in the middle and to go again against Buse. Both had jumped before the ball came down. It was a 50-50. Lang slung in the Kerr tackle, and the umpire says he was taken high, and it'll be a free kick to Josh Lang. Lang gives a handball off to the run of Keck. Keck will send a kick towards right half forward, looking for Logan Taylor, who was the man who just sparked him in the opening term with 3 goals, and he's been paid for an arm chop. A free kick against Tom Stephen. Stephen sort of just waves his arms in mock indignation. Kick inside forward, 50's a floating ball. It's not a great kick, and comfortably onto the chest of Beers. Beers sends a kick wide to right half back, and Rice is marked unmarked.
Rice looks up, not a ton ahead of him. The kick was nondescript for Sob, who was beaten to it. This is Mitch Taylor. They filter it by hand. Keck's got some speed. Coughs it up by hand to Williams, who just thumps it to half forward. Grant's got 3 to beat. He was up early. Gee, that's a great grab at the back of the pack. Couldn't quite catch who it was.
Josh Gummer.
Kingy. Might have been Gummer. Good call, Rory. Grant's still down, who got sat on in that contest. Lang squares it up to Hobbs. Got numbers on this near side. Monteith marks at half back.
He does, and then he kicks and providing a lead into space is Rawlings, who's been outstanding this afternoon. The only man out there that's played in a winning senior final for Ocean+Grove, and that was the last win in a senior final. That was the prelim of 2014 against Torquay. So it's been 7 years between drinks in the postseason for the Grubbers, but they're going to do it in style this afternoon as they lead by 63 over Anglesea. The ball's in the middle as Lang was unable to take the footy away from the contest and he was locked up. Umpire tosses it into the air. Annan and Buse. Annan winning the tap down. Wilkie jammed it on the boot inside forward 50. Donegan couldn't take it cleanly. Ball spills out towards Keck. Keck gives it to Rawlings. He can go back to Keck by hand. Good tackle by Rice. Was that holding the ball? No. Keck a handball. And in the middle of Port Arlington Recreation Reserve. Fit of the fumbles. Had it knocked away by Kerr. McDonald put his head over the ball but couldn't take it away. There's a couple there for the Grubbers, but they've overrun it. Campbell, one of those. Good little bump from Buse to clear a path for Caldwell, who bangs it very, 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 very long. Did Gummer get a fist on that? I'm not sure he did. He's pleading his case with the goal umpire, but that is to no avail. And Caldwell, with the longest of goals, bounces it through and gets one back for the Roos. They're 5-5-35. Ocean Grove 13-14-92. Something that they could have done with a lot earlier in the contest, Roars.
Yeah, well, they tried for a period of time there in the second quarter. They had about 5 shots outside of 50 and it didn't work for them. So the one's finally come off. They just haven't been able to play the football out Anglesea and they haven't been able to hit targets. And I think that's due to a lack of work rate for your teammate to get in the right spots to receive the ball.
What do we reckon the meterage on that kick was, Kingy? Is it at 70 metres or so?
Yeah, it's got 65 or 70 attached to it.
Travelled a long way, didn't it, with the breeze?
Gee, Josh Gummer was adamant that he sort of Stephen Silvani, Michael Long 1993 grand final arrangement.
Wasn't a convincing appeal to me. Tossed up and then been terrific. Lang's worked his way into the contest nicely. Coughed up. Wilkie being good, the skipper. Dancing through a couple's Pickett. Wheels round his right boot. Taylor bursts through Wilkie. His kick was smothered. Buse throws his body over the ball. Got his handball clear. Kerr got a boot to it to shovel it forward. Back to Wilkie. They work it on the outside again. Kick towards Patterson and Annans. Fisted away from him by Carson. The ball out of play.
Once again, Rawlings just standing on his own, no one within 5 to 7 metres of him at a contest. One of the best ball users in the Ocean Grove team and obviously had a lot of it. I don't know how they've not recognised how much influence he's having on this game, and to be that far on his own is staggering.
Kai Annan from behind doing the ruck work. Jammed on the boot. That was an interesting kick. Might have been Bell Warren into the path of Rounds, who goes with a torp towards centre half forward, and that's well marked going back with the flight. Might have been Rawlings taking that, and he goes short to Ness. Ness can swing onto his right boot at right half back, just to the wing, checks his kick nicely to Lang, who's been impressive. I reckon in this second half he's really come into the contest. Young left footer, Lang, short, and Brome, also a left footer. So just got a nice mix too, the likes of Hobbs and Brome and Lang all on the left boot. He kicks towards centre half forward. It's not a well-weighted kick. Donegan had no chance. Rice cuts it off, gives a handball to Rounds, and Rounds can bang it long. Can they catch him on the counter? Sends it wide. Erskine took the mark, hit the ground running, straightens up, can get a handball off. Oh, he went for Grant, and Ness got in the way. Then Ness had a putrid left foot kick that went off the outside of the boot, and he's actually gone and got the old underrated double stat buzz.
I like it. His kicks isn't great. There's no one ahead. It probably should be deliberate. No, says the umpire. There's literally no one within 50 metres of that. But anyway,
and if anybody can erase that tape from the last 30 seconds,
yep,
it would be much appreciated.
Wasn't great.
No.
Once again, an Anglesea player in 2 minds there. He looked at handball, changed his mind, looked at the goals and went to handball, and the moment was gone. You got to play that first option football in finals.
Grant was stripped of it as he went searching for the footy at ground level. Comes clear. Caldwell has to kick on his non-preferred left. Makes a decent fist of it, but couldn't bring it around far enough. Through for a minor score. 1 goal, 1 to Ash Caldwell's name. 5-6-36. That moves Anglesea along on to Ocean Grove 13-14-92. 7.5 minutes gone in this final term.
Mitch Taylor has to go all the way down to the perimeter fence here at Port Rec Reserve to get the footy with no crowd here. There's nobody to send it back to, but then also there's no smart aleck to throw it over your head to from the opposition to make you go and get it 20 metres away from your goal. Taylor will just trot off into the left back pocket under pressure from Elliott. He drives a kick and he's driven it straight onto the chest of Jack Rice, who's marked at right half forward. Rice called to play on, off a step. Sends it to about 25 out from goal. Grant will come with a run. Under the footy, Campbell couldn't complete the mark, but he's helped out at the back there by his teammate. Might have been Monteith jamming on the boot. And it's rolled out of bounds after the kick, and we'll get a boundary throw in. Once again, right half forward for Anglesea. They trail by 56. Their season will come to an end, and Ocean Grove are going to advance to a first semi-final meeting with Barwon Heads.
Tossed in. Buse down to Williams, who's wrapped down in a strong double team tackle. Have a ball up just outside the pain of 50. Nearly 9 minutes gone in this final term. As Kingy says, this Ocean Grove win sets up a mouth-watering clash with their biggest rivals next weekend. Right here at Port Arlington, that's a good tackle from Rice. He'll earn himself a free kick for holding the footy. He's tried hard, Jack Rice. Hasn't been their worst, that's for sure. What can he do here? He's a long way from home. He's got the aid of the breeze behind him, though. Just sets it up towards Grant, who got up early. Couldn't lay a glove on it. Ball comes to ground level. Erskine ripped down with it. Numbers converge. Ward lays a strong tackle too. Along with Marchbank, will have a ball up. We're about 30 around from home for the Roos. Tossed up. They go to work again. Erskine just throws a stray boot at it. Couldn't get any distance on it with that many players around. Umpires circling. There's appeals. The ball's actually spilt clear, but not before the umpire had called for it to be thrown up. And we'll do it all again.
I'm happy to be corrected, but I reckon you've got to go back to 2004 maybe for the last time Ocean Grove and Barwon Heads played each other in a final. Going right back, I reckon they might have met in a prelim or a first semi. Happy to be corrected. If anybody's listening out there, might be able to confirm me. And Mick Taggart will be able to confirm for me. He's the font of all Ocean Grove knowledge.
Mark
watching
Neal,
at Noosa.
no? He coached that year.
No, that was Bones Clark's year 04.
Was it?
Yeah, I reckon. Nealdy had gone to St Joey's off the back of the 4th flag. And took Jimmy Dalton with him.
Ah, correct.
And Jimmy went and duly won St Joseph's best and fairest. Now Jimmy's making a name for himself as the track manager at Geelong Racing Club.
He is.
Doing a wonderful job, getting that track in preparation for the Melbourne Cup lead up in the second last Wednesday of October.
Good man, Jim.
He's a ripper. Came in where did he come in the Addy's top 50? Very highly in the BFL. Left foot snap from Erskine's not a bad effort, but it's going to float across the face of goal and through for a behind, and the margin is 55. So behinds won't do it for the Roos. They are too far away to be snatching this one. They would need they'd need basically Ocean Grove to walk off the field to be any chance of kicking the 10 goals required to get back into this one. Ocean Grove 13-14, 92. Anglesea 5-6, 36. And the Grubbers won't be doing that anytime soon, Rory.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. The way they've been playing, I'm not sure they'd still get the job done.
Just look at Anglesea's key targets, Rory. I mean, Erskine's just got one to his name. Jack Elliott hasn't kicked a goal this afternoon. Corbell's just got the single. Blake Grant hasn't hit the scoreboard, who's usually good for a couple of games. They just haven't fired a shot, have they?
No, in fairness to Erskine too, they're dropping it on his head and he's getting double teamed. They're not being able to get that ball user out that wants to kick inside forward 50. It's always under pressure and hacking the footy forward, and Erskine's had to battle against 2-3 players.
Nolan lost the footy. Ball's still stuck over on that outer side. Buse is hovering around with it as Belwarren shoveled it forward. Turning into a bit of a scrap now. Buse at the front. Takes the ball. Burns a few off, kicks inside, 52. That's a big contest. Couple of Ocean Grove players down. The quick snap came in the meantime, and it's through from Jack Rice. Nice finish. Had to snap quickly after a big contest from Erskine and Hobbs. I think it was as well in there, but it's through for a major from Jack Rice. Anglesea 6-7, 43. Ocean Grove 13-14, 92. 12 and a half gone in the final term.
You don't want those to be serious, those knocks, because they've got a concussion linked to them. They've got 12 days.
Yep.
You hope that Campbell's okay and Hobbs is okay from that. And
They seem fine. Just two players with only eyes for the ball, and they've run into each other. But to be this far ahead and show that commitment to the football, to put their bodies on the line, is a credit to the guys.
Glenn Campbell, of course, spent a year in the Riddle League before. In 2019. He was at the Grubbers in 2018, originally from, I think, Strathmore in the Essendon League, was where he made a name for himself, and one of the few Ocean Grove players with a 3 in front of the age. Rory,
It's not many.
Well, there's not many with a 2. A lot of them have still got a 1 in front of their age.
Yeah, I thought Jack Rawlings might have been 30, but apparently he's only just turned 28. I was just chatting to Matty Payne down there at half time.
Talking about good players. Gee, Matty Payne was a seriously good footballer. I was fortunate enough to see a bit of Matty Payne in
Long
his
goals from a midfielder, just outside 50.
in his Leopold 4A in the mid-90s. And he was one of the elite midfielders of the GFL, but of course we know of one of the greats of the Ballerine. Umpire tosses it up. Buse got high, won the tap against Annan. Rolling ball. An attack there by McDonald. Rather Monteith it was.
He's actually running water, Matty Payne. I don't know how much water he's running. He's probably out there coaching.
Not a bad bloke to have out there. Rounds, bombs it long. There was a free kick advantage paid back with the flight. Campbell dropped what he should have taken going back with the flight. Here's Hobbs wrapped up in a bear hug by Erskine. That's not coming out, and we'll get a ball up left forward pocket. The momentum. I know we get so, and it happens at every level of footy, we just fall so in love with the winning finals team as opposed, and we get off the losing finals team from the week before. It's not like Ocean Grove are rolling out here next week and walking over Barwon Heads in a first semi, but gee, they're going to take some good momentum in, Rory.
Yeah, well, as I said, they're just not afraid of any opponent, are they? They'll play anyone, anytime, anywhere, and I sort of thought they may have been overawed by the occasion, and the experience of Anglesea today would be a challenge for them, but they've just looked really comfortable at the level and playing in a final, haven't they? They just don't look uncomfortable at all, whereas Anglesea sort of have been the team that looks uncomfortable to me.
They've been superb. Every line you look at, there's something to be excited about from an Ocean Grove point of view. Wilkie's kick wasn't his best, chopped off by Stephen. Wheels onto his right foot, wobbles one inside, 50, Erskine from the back, couldn't get hands on it. Grant goes to work at ground level. Erskine again lays a strong tackle. To be fair to the big man, he hasn't been afraid to put in the dirty work, laying some strong tackles, but hasn't been his afternoon for the number 4.
Not through lack of effort.
You certainly know as a defender if Jordan Erskine's been in the contest with you. Quick clearing kick out of the pack by Marchbank, and that's just going to bounce inside the field of play. That can't be called deliberate. That's a skill error. And Luke Rounds thinks he's going to be the recipient of a free kick. The umpire says, no, it'll be a boundary throw-in. There's insufficient intent and there's insufficient intent, and a skill error isn't insufficient intent. It was just a skill error from Cam Marchbank, and he would have found himself very stiff to have had a free kick paid against him. Boundary throw-in, left forward pocket. Erskine will do the ruck work, just palms it beautifully to Caldwell, the unlikely rover, snaps a kick around his body, and diving down low and taking the mark is Campbell at the top of his defensive goal square to hold things up for the Grubbers.
Not a lot of head, so he's just forced to sit behind his mark. Chips across the face of goal. That's safe enough with Ward. His own back pocket. Sting's gone right out of this one, as you would expect. Long driving ball. Juggling mark is taken. Good mark too by Hobbs. Chips over the top. Hung up in the air a long time. Allowed Drew Schneering to come across and fist the ball out of play, with the ball spent a hell of a lot of time this afternoon on that outer side. Out of play is 16 and a half minutes tick by in this final term.
Now, apparently Ocean Grove and Barwon Heads in 2015, there was a final. So we're not going that far back for the last time they met. We've been informed by our viewers on AFL Barwon Facebook. Hope they're enjoying the broadcast wherever they're watching.
Watching in their thousands, I'm sure, Kingy.
They will be next week if there's no crowds allowed. Wow. Be very quiet on the roads of Ocean Grove and Barwon Heads next week. Keck bursts away from the contest, bangs it long. Carson's got back there. Patterson couldn't mark. Front of the pack, numbers there for the Grubbers. Touching it to the ground, Rawlings, and he puts a kick wide to Keck. Keck runs to 45, lowers the vision into the pocket and puts it onto the chest of Pearce. So Harley Pearce marking on the chest, left forward pocket. An Ocean Grove junior, he actually spent 2019 and played a handful of games at Drysdale before coming back to the Grubbers this year, and proved to be a smart move.
Absolutely. Playing in a final. Once again, just the ability to spot up the free player by Ocean Grove, because they've got the time and space, is a credit to them. They've not blazed away too many times today, nor have they kicked over 30 metres. They just continue to pave their way, use the corridors and find that loose player.
He steps out, opens up the angle and snaps across the body, and he's kicked the goal, Pearce. So the celebrations begin for the Grubbers. They're going to win their way through to a big first semi-final next week against Barwon Heads. Ocean Grove 14-14-98. Anglesea 6-7-43. 18 minutes gone in, of course, this final quarter of our elimination final. And tell you what, Anglesea, that's disappointing. And I'll tell you what, it'll be interesting to see with Anglesea what they look like in 2022. They are an older list. There's some guys that have played a lot of footy, and it'll be interesting to see how their situation stands for next year, Rory. But, gee, it's not the way you want to end a year. If you're going to lose a final, you don't want it to be in this manner.
Big margin, yeah. look, they've probably reached their tether with this list almost, haven't they? Like with the players like Williams and Carson and these sorts of guys, it's probably time to inject some new players into their senior side.
Yep, they've come close, haven't they, since Paul Nigro's taken over the job? They've always been thereabouts without taking the ultimate step, as you say. As Bewes in the ruck for the team we speak of, Anglesea. On the script, handball missed Kurt.
I mean, we're talking about a team that's only lost 4 games this year.
Yep. Taylor dances through a couple. Didn't get much on the kick. Evaded Lang. Taylor goes to work again, butted up his own missed kick. Lang tries to break through a Bewes tackle. That's not easy to do. Probably should be holding the footy. Took on the tackler, but is the umpire paying a free kick here for abuse? I think he might be. I think a few Anglesea players have some choice words, and free kick will end up going to Lang, who finds Will Brome. And that's 50 too. Should be.
Ash Caudle's very, very lucky. Brome goes short, and Waters has marked. And that wonderful mane of hair is going to get another look next week. He goes laterally, and Anand has marked, and that's the younger in Kai under pressure from Jack Elliott. Kicks inside 50. No mark taken by Williams. Just palmed it straight down to Waters. Kick went up the chimney. Handball release from Monteith. Chance now for Lang. Lang gave it to Waters. Waters snapped around his body, and there's going to be a free kick paid off the footy, and now it's just got a little bit untidy from Anglesea. And it will be a downfield free kick. Sob with the umpire, the non-controlling, coming in and saying you slung him after he got rid of the ball. Sob having a chat with the umpire, and it will become a free kick. And it might be Donegan who's going to be the recipient. The umpire's now in discussions about where the free kick will take place. And so the mark will be set. I think they're just having a bit of a guess here. Mark will be set about 30 metres out directly in front for a chance for Donegan to kick his second of the afternoon. And for the Grubbers to crack the ton and put the margin beyond 10 goals, which I think is a fair reflection of the difference between the two clubs, gentlemen, this afternoon. 21 minutes played. Donegan with a stuttering approach, kicks from about 35, gets a good piece of it and puts it straight over the goal umpire's hat. Donegan with 2 and gives him 23 for the season. And we have gone 21.5 minutes with a 61-point lead now for Ocean+Grove. 15-14, 104. Anglesea, 6-7, 43. Rory Nicol, part of our broadcast on AFL Bowen Facebook live stream this afternoon. And Rory, I'm sure Troy Mitchell and Mitch Herbison, if not watching this afternoon, will be poring over the footage of this one.
Yeah, well, if you didn't know who some of these young kids were, you'd probably stand up and take notice now. But there's no sort of one player. The ruling's been great, I thought, but everyone's just sort of playing their role, and they've got a nice even spread of goal kickers as well. So difficult to pinpoint 2, 3, 4 players to try and stop for Ocean+Grove. It's going to have to be a team attitude to try and beat them next week.
They've been tremendous this afternoon. Couldn't have been any more impressive, Ocean+Grove. Williams found Rice in the meantime. Long driving kick towards Erskine. He's got a couple to beat again. He might have himself a free kick for a hold and does. The big number 4, he'll have a shot on goal from 40 out, slide angle.
He's battled away, Geordie.
Sure has just done 1 goal, 1 to his name this afternoon, but as Rory's mentioned throughout the call, has often had a couple hanging off him, like situations like we just saw. So in he comes. Jordan Erskine, usually a reliable set shot from these sort of ranges. In he comes, of course, he misses it as soon as I say that. Pushed it wide. I should know better, Kingy.
You've got to go the reverse, Miles, and say that's not his spot on the ground. He's usually better from, about 5 metres further left, making the angle more acute. So always disappointment to see a club fall out of finals contention, but there are 4 left, and Ocean+Grove, I suspect to most surprise, are one of those 4 in 2021. The short kick in from Mitch Taylor, marked down low by Ward, who's been very handy this afternoon. Takes it in the left back pocket. Ward drives a kick into the breeze towards half back. Flying Patterson can't mark. It's off hands and out of bounds, boundary throwing. I suspect James Patterson might be looking for the tape from the Battle of the Bridge after his performance earlier in the year, jagging 8.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be pretty keen to not let him do it again.
Ball back into play. Double fister from Kobe Annan from behind. Front of the pack, Williams is locked up in a wrestle for the footy with Pickett. Neither's extracting it from that contest. And we'll get another stoppage. 23, nearly 24 minutes gone. It's one of those ones where we could just reach across to the siren from our commentary box into the timekeeper's booth. Rory, can you just go and do that for us now? And I think we can finish this one off. Buzz?
Yep, nearly that time, isn't it? Scrubbed kick forward. Brome's there with Sob. Sob first to it. Sees it out over the boundary line.
Anglesea Hotel preparing itself, no doubt, for an influx of Anglesea players in the next 24 hours.
I think so.
Hello to all the team down there. Great feed too, by the way.
You're allowed to go to a pub, not a footy game.
Interesting, isn't it?
Brome applies a strong tackle on the paint of 50. You mentioned Connor Pickett before. Kingy, of course, provided one of the great moments of the Battle of the Bridge early in the season when I think Pete Davey described it as Connor Pickett's candy shop, and a great photo from Marcel Behrens capturing the moment of the celebration too, with the arms raised and everyone trying to chase him down.
That bit soccer goal style, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah.
Waiting for the shirt, the jumper to go over their head. Yeah, it was a great photo from Marcel Behrens. It has done the rounds a bit this year. I'm sure Connor probably gets fined every time it shows up, so we'll keep showing it. That boundary throwing was a little bit skew-whiff, so I suspect the boundary umpires, who have absolutely earned every piece of the pocket money that they're putting away from this afternoon. There has been plenty of stoppages. Ball back into play. Annan from behind against Bewes. He might have got a hand on it. Tried to knock to the front. Bewes was the one that tried to take the footy away from the contest. Had it knocked from his grasp by Lang. And it's now underneath the pack and not coming out. And a ball up, and we're into that moment of a final. The ones where the interest is really lost for everybody. Ocean+Grove just want to get themselves through unscathed, and Anglesea just want to head to the rooms and lick their wounds. That's a good mark by Waters from the kick coming in. He took it over the top of Erskine, Elliott, and he's going to hold things up again for the Grubbers, as they have done all afternoon in defence, Buzz.
Driven long and strong towards Beers. The ball actually floated out in the full in the end, so Beers will take the resulting free kick. 26 minutes have ticked by in this final term. Not long left in this elimination final. Beers plays on. Back inside the field of play. Not a great kick. Lang got a fist to it. Looping handball finds Williams. Kicks on his left boot. Harrison's been tossed forward. Numbers at ground level still with Ocean+Grove. They try to work it by hand. Brome out to the skipper, Wilkie. Goes back by hand again. Taylor fancies himself by foot. Hung it up in the air a long time. The ball fell short. And Rice swoops in and takes the mark. And he probably has the range from here, you would say, if other shots on goal are any indication for Jack Rice. He'll kick from just about the paint of 50 with the aid of the breeze behind his back.
Oh.
Gives it everything. Goes very high. Accuracy not there, through for a minor score.
59 now the margin. And we've played 27 minutes. Please, heaven forbid, not be a 40-minute quarter or best of like we got in the opening term. We ticked over 38 in that opening term. Ocean+Grove 15, 14, 104. Anglesea 6, 9, 45.
Just questioning why I decided to park my car, Kingy, down that end behind the goals when the breeze is going that way. I'm not really didn't think that one through, did I? It's just that lone car you can see behind the goals. It's not my smartest decision in hindsight.
Taylor has bounced. That's Mitch as he runs from his defensive goal square, and Darcy Elliott is marked. And I only laugh at that, Buzz, because when I came in, I actually had the same thought, and I parked at the other end. Is that at the outside of the right boot? That's not a bad effort. And is that a goal? It is.
Yep.
It goes through for Anglesea.
Rice, I think.
And it was Jack Rice kicking. It kicks his second of the afternoon. And I actually find myself at the opposite end of the ground thinking, well, it won't be down here much. So I'm down behind the trees. And think, well, I'm pretty safe down here. Ocean+Grove 15, 14, 104. Anglesea 7, 9, 51. Just for listeners, where'd you park your car, Rory?
Over near the netball courts, because that. But having said that, at least you walk home with the tailwind back towards the car.
Well, that's true.
You're walking into the breeze.
That's true. I think I've avoided any damage so far. I hope the siren goes.
Stand up for the whole game.
I just noticed. Just wondering why I did that. Anyway.
It's taken you 3.5
Yeah,
quarters to work it out.
Forgot I parked there.
This discussion wouldn't be happening if the margin was...
sorry, viewers.
Was 3 points as opposed to 53. Back in the middle. And Ocean Grove try to clear. It's not coming out. And it might have been Wilkie trying to get the handball away. Then it ended up with Buse. He's held up. He's not going anywhere. 53 points, 28 and 3/4 minutes gone. Can't be too much time left in this one. The kick of Rounds is partially smothered. Spills back for Kerr. Now clearing kick from Rounds towards half forward to a one-on-one. Brome in a wrestle with Sob. It's going to bounce towards Jack Elliott. Here now it's Harrison who's gone forward in a rare foray. Gives the handball back to Sob. Sob's kick is a unattractive one, and it will bounce out of bounds for a boundary throw. And Jordan Harrison, rarely sighted inside the forward line. Made his name as a key defender, but Paul Nigro may be throwing him forward as a bit of a, well, you've stood tall down back all year. Go and see if you can find yourself a goal, son.
Yep, not much else has worked for him this afternoon, has it? So might as well throw the magnets around. And again with a strong fist. Or when we start looking at players who stood out today, I'm sure Kobe and both the brothers have been impressive today. But players, we'll have a think actually. We'll get your thoughts after the final siren. But there's been no shortage of winners out there for Ocean Grove this afternoon. Quick kick forward. That's the freaky against Carson. Should have been anyway. Sob threw it on the left boot. Minor score just inside the goalpost on a left foot snap.
It's got to be a credit to the coaches of the player management over the difficult period of COVID, isn't it? They just look ready to play today, and also that comes out the back off the, I guess, the players' commitment to do the work when no one's watching. It's evident today, watching them, that they have put the work in. They might have been training on their own in small groups during the COVID period, but you know they don't look like they could run out another quarter by the looks of Ocean Grove.
Monteith runs his full measure and kicks towards half back. No mark taken there as it bounced off the chest of Ward. Annan was good at his bootlaces, gave it to Logan Taylor, tried to get it to Keck. Keck was able to take it and then kick towards the wing. Bouncing ball. It falls for Marchbank. He tried to get a handball away into the path of Pearce. It's now socket off the ground towards Pearce, but down low. Well, that should be 50 really, as it will be 50, as Swain, after taking the mark. No, the umpire just telling the player to get back Donegan on the mark. He was indicating he was going to pay 50 to Swain. Swain sends a kick. Caldwell unmarked. Can loop a handball over the top if he desires to Harrison. Instead goes looking for Erskine on a lead. And for one of the few times today, the service to Jordan Erskine has been on point. It was a beautiful piercing ball from Caldwell. Barely got 6 or 8 foot off the ground.
Probably the first time they've been able to string two possessions together. Get from one end of the ground to the other.
So the Grubbers are probably just mentally checked out for the moment. Erskine for his second, and he's pulled that to the left. And so Jordan Erskine in front of goal today. 1 goal, 3, I think, is the count. You'll confirm for me.
Yep.
Buzz.
Okay.
15, 14, 104, Ocean Grove, Anglesea, 7, 10, 52. And we've ticked towards 32 minutes gone in this final quarter. As the Grubbers, they will march on to a Battle of the Bridge final. There are finals, and then there are Battle of the Bridge finals. And they just seem to have a little bit more than just advancing to the next game attached to them.
Yeah, well, they're generally a final just during the year, aren't they? And it doesn't matter where either side's placed on the ladder. They're always red hot, and both sides have a good go. So to put it into context, you know, if it's a final, it's going to be very entertaining to watch.
So looking forward to that one. It will be absolutely massive.
Fingers crossed we can get some people and create some atmosphere as well.
It'd be nice. McDonald went to Hobbs, Ness by hand, Rawlings been terrific. But his handball was smothered and the ball trickles out of play. 104 plays 53, as you can see in the bottom left of your screen. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage this afternoon on the live stream, wherever you're watching. Tossed in. Buse in the ruck, doing the work for Anglesea. Sob tumbles one forward, bounces over the head of everyone in the end. Comes forward. Monteith just got a handball out. Ward, his kick was smothered. Jeez, Harrison just lost his bearings completely. There's a man who hasn't played in the forward line a lot. Kingy just thought he was under the hammer when he had 5 metres of space.
I thought he was going for some sort of bicycle kick, sort of into the back of the net, the way he was setting himself, sort of Daniel Arzani at the Olympics sort of style. But he's put it out on the full. And the clock has ticked to 33 and a half minutes. If we thought we were going to get some mercy from the timekeepers, it hasn't come. It's been an enjoyable afternoon, I suppose, Grubber fans and those watching on the live stream, and we know there's a bunch of you at the Ocean+Grove Hotel, the old boat shed, Rory, down at the Colindina, or those watching, of course, at Ray Menzies Oval. We hope you enjoyed the call, and you'll hopefully be here next Sunday, and if you're not, well, we'll do it all again for you and bring you the action from Port Arlington. A long kick towards half-back came from Campbell, slung in the tackle, but unable to release. Out there was an Ocean+Grove player who's very slow to get to his feet in back play. Might be Harley Pearce. Now advantage is paid and a 50-metre penalty, so there a chance now to maybe jag a late one. Pearce has got to his feet. Oh, no, it might not be Pearce. It was Pearce involved there. Oh, the handball. I think it might have been Taylor trying to get it away. Back to Pearce. Now the kick of Rice is okay for Kennedy. Kennedy in the middle of Port Arlington Recreation Reserve, bangs it long. Carson in best position, flies. Can he mark? No, he can't. Off the hands of the pack. Elliott had Sob over the top, ignored him, went long with the kick, and the bounce is taking it through for a behind. Dale Carson, age 37. Wonderful to see him again.
Yeah, unlikely I would have thought, but he's been a great player, hasn't he? He's very difficult to coach against. For a player that can play either end.
Yep. If it is the last time, he's been an absolute champion, hasn't he?
Absolutely.
Terrific. What an incredible CV, really, if you look back at it. Hope it isn't. Hopefully he goes around one more time, but father time's against him, isn't it?
And if not, we've always got the third quarter of the 2015 GFL Grand Final on loop.
Yep, that's right. Ball comes to ground level. Harrison on the snap, dumped away out of midair from Rawlings. Ball hovering near the boundary line and out of play. 35 and a half minutes gone. What do we have in the opening term? 38, was it?
I'm glad we didn't bounce at 2:15 as games have been, and we went at 2 o'clock. We'd potentially be turning the lights on here at Port.
Barnett's are pretty happy for this game to keep going.
Yeah.
Well, they're actually just starting to warm up for the start of their semi-final. I can tell you that Torquay and Mottawarri was a very close one in the second semi-final as Ness clears wide. Patterson flying has taken the mark, but it's out of bounds on the full. And the free kick will go to Rice, and we cannot be too far away. 36 minutes now ticked over. Buzz is just trying to get an eye on the clock, get a bit of an idea. It's off the hands of the pack. Out it comes, but it's taken by Rawlings, who's been outstanding. Once again, touching it to the ground. Loops a handball over the top. Gummer sold a teammate up the river who was equal to the task to get a handball away, but only as far as Harrison. Harrison to Kennedy. Kennedy over the top. Here now is Darcy Elliott banging it long. I tell you, it's not a bad effort off one step. What a kick. He's kicked the goal. So a late consolation prize there for the Roos. Cut the margin back to 44 points, but it all is window dressing. And with this quarter, this is going to go just as long, Buzz. By the time they get this ball back, we might find ourselves again with a 38-minute quarter. 44 is the margin. Ocean+Grove 15-14, 104. Anglesea 8-12-60. And Darcy Elliott playing just his fourth game of the year. Kicks his second goal of the season. But that, you would suspect, is where it will stop. So the margin was 41 at quarter time after that opening quarter blitz. And in the end, Anglesea have actually done well to only lose the last three quarters by 3 points, Rory.
Yeah, the scoreboard probably flatters them a little bit, but having said that, they're, 9 scoring shots less, which I find very interesting. But obviously the first quarter just blew them away and they haven't been able to peg it back.
Free kick in the middle in the ruck contest will go to Buse. Buse quickly just bangs it on the boot. Inside forward 50. Harrison front position. Worked off it by Ward. Knocked away by Hobbs in traffic. Got a little handball away. And that is all she wrote. Ocean+Grove. They survive and advance. They're through to the first semi-final and they'll meet Barwon Heads in a finals battle of the bridge next Sunday afternoon here at Port Arlington Recreation Reserve as the respective club officials come together to shake hands, and coaches will do the same, players will do the same, but it is Anglesea out. There are 4 remaining, and one of those are the Baby Grubbers, Brewery.
Yeah, very impressive, very impressive. I thought they'd be a dangerous opponent today, just the bigger ground and their fitness and their pace, and I was probably on the money there, but when you come to a ground like this with a group of kids, and as I said, there's not 1 or 2 players you need to put time into. They've just done a terrific job and all played for each other and played their role for the team. Once again, I'll just touch on the management, I suppose. That sort of stands out a little bit too, with Sprelly's text message to confirm that. But they just look ready to play, fit enough and just hardened for a game of footballs, whereas Anglesea never looked like it at any period of the game.
Pete Davey has full faith in his fitness man, Dean Casamento. Wherever he can mention his name, he does.
Right.
Yeah, and he
Just
talks
giving him
about the
another
work
one.
he's done. Yeah, he absolutely has full faith in what he's got set up. So
But it's one thing to actually have that fitness guy there or those guys managing the players, but the players have got to put their hand up and do the work as well. So it's a credit to the playing group to actually invest and have that eye on that fifth spot to play a final and put to work. As I said, the hardest thing to do in getting fit or training is to do it when no one's watching you, and they've got their reward for putting the work in.
what did you see in Ocean+Grove today that says they could advance beyond the first semi-final?
Look, I haven't watched Bowen Heads this year, to be honest, so I'm not sure. I can only go by what I've seen today. But just their, I guess, willingness to share the ball and invite each other into the game. Hobbsy did a great job back on Erskine today, but as I said earlier during the game, there was never a moment where he was one out. There was always support to get back and help him. Just the unrewarded running, the work rate to receive a handball when their teammate's in trouble. They look like a really close-knit group of mates, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I was about to say that. You can just, even up on the final side, all the hugs and
Yep.
the smiles, they do look like a very close-knit group. Not just the players, but all the staff and officials who are here as well. They all look pretty together, don't they?
Yeah, and it's also, I guess, again, like as I said before the game, if they lose today, I think they'd still give them a tick as far as the age of their list. I'd give Ocean+Grove a tick this season if they lost today. So, again, they get an opportunity to play another final, and if they don't win next week, it's not the end of the world. They got nothing to lose next week. Absolutely nothing to lose.
I'm not sure. There was something directed my direction from Kobe Annan. I'll go down and chase up Kobe a little bit later and see what his message was to me and say I didn't catch the full realm of it, but obviously I've done something that's obviously either upset or stirred.
I wouldn't have
I think they were just giving the stream some love, Kingy.
Well, that's nice of them.
I think so.
The stream was good. It was a bit of fun, actually. I don't know, we should be. I don't know whether we're still rolling. We can pick up the volume potentially from the Ocean+Grove song because I suspect they will sing it loud down there. So if we can capture that we can't film it, unfortunately. Obviously, the COVID protocols prohibit the media from being down in the rooms. But if the boys do sing the song, I suspect we might be able to pick it up. Those rooms, they are very soundproofed. Here we go.
There you go.
There's a little bit of the Ocean+Grove song. For those watching, I hope you enjoyed it through those watching at Rangers Zone and also those watching in the Ocean+Grove Hotel this afternoon. The Brothers have advanced to a first semi-final. It's their first final win in 6 years, and they give themselves a crack at Bowen Heads next week. A ripping match, a mouth-watering match. It always is. It doesn't matter where they are on the ladder, but when it's two teams in contention and still fighting for a premiership, they're on a little journey here, the Grubber boys, and who knows where youthful enthusiasm can take them.
Yeah, as I said, they've got nothing to lose, and they'll throw everything at Bowen Heads. And Bowen Heads are the team that's got something to lose, which is always a dangerous position. But it'll be interesting. It'll be good viewing.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, thank you. Thank you to Red Onion for their work with the live stream all over our games this weekend, not only here on the BFL coverage, but also netball and AFL Bowen women's football as well. And of course, I think 4 GFL games got covered yesterday as well. So you weren't short of action if you're a local footy fan. To you, Rory, great to see you. I'm not sure what our plans are for next Sunday, but if we can pull this all together again, we'd love to have you involved. And hopefully the lovely Jess says, look, Rory, happy for you to hang out with Kingy for the afternoon.
Yeah, we'll see how we go.
Can you do something about that moustache between...
No, keep it. I like it.
All I can do is grow it longer, mate.
Real sort of gaucho sort of arrangement. It looks absolutely fantastic. Buzz, good to see you. Great to have you back.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good to be a part of it.
For you, hopefully Williamstown are back playing next weekend.
Hope so. Kingy, not looking great at the moment, but we'll see how we go.
And if they're not, hopefully we'll have you on the K-Rock coverage Saturday.
Yep, that's
for
right.
Geelong West and South Bowen at McDonald Reserve.
Looking forward to that. I'll wear my jumper.
I was going to say, you'd hate to be at a South Bowen game when they're playing for a finals berth, potentially top 3.
Yep.
And, of course, now hopefully next Sunday we'll have you part of the commentary team as, of course, we see Bowen Heads and Ocean+Grove in action. Saturday, it'll be a live stream and it will be Torquay and Mottawari in the second semi-final. But do keep an eye on the AFL Bowen Facebook and social medias for all the details regarding live streams of football, netball at all levels next weekend. It has been a big win for the Ocean+Grove Footy Club by 44 points as they advance to a first semi-final. We hope you've enjoyed it here from Port Arlington Recreation Reserve.